critical.
Yes. Yes. Well, I do apologise to everybody who was watching that. You've missed the introductions. Oh, we've got a fire background. Yeah, so we'll quickly go again. We've got Dave from Effect. We've got Blue, who hangs around on Twitter and does indie games. We've got Evo from Death and did the Dark Hammer logo, and we've got Ben, who does lots of game design as well. We'll put things out when we do the YouTube and do things. We'll talk about it better later. So we'll start back again with Dave introducing his murder elf.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, so I am Wraith, Wraith Shadespike. I'm a K-Knight Shadowstalker elf. As I said, I'm a daughter of Cain, so I worship the god of murder from the realm of shadow. And I think nobody likes me.
Well,
but my character, I think people like my character, but nobody like me. Anyway, yes. But yes.
We'll work that one out as we go along. Great. I think you were just a bit quiet then, but cool. I'm hoping it's all set up now. Blue, would you like to introduce your character?
Cool. I will be playing Seville Griffcrest, and she is a battle mage, human, and she is from using magic from the realm of Gur, which is the realm of beasts.
We'll keep going around in the same direction again. Evo.
Hi, I'm Urvis the Axeless. If you want to know why I'm Urvis the Axeless specifically, you're going to have to figure that out. But I am a Duradin, and I'm from the realm of metal, and I don't have an axe to grind. Or do I?
You have two axes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I am the Axeless.
We'll see how that goes. Cool. And yes, he's a fire slayer for those people out there. And the last we have Ben, who is playing.
I am playing Ebonok the Gravewalker, a Sylvaneth Kurnoth hunter, sort of one of a fallen Glades March who've decided to take in the corpses of Nurgle cultists to keep them from infecting the Great Tree, and now walked out into the world to find a place to die and deposit these awful things.
Cool. Okay. So nice to have you all on board. We shall begin. So I know for Dave, Blue, and Evo, this is very much your first delve into Age of Sigmar and Soulbound. I know Ben, you know a little bit about Age of Sigmar, so
yeah. I play Gloomspite Gits and huge fan of sort of
Squeaks.
Warhammer and stuff like that. So
But this is your first time playing Soulbound, isn't it?
First time playing the game, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Before the stream, I did go through the rules with everybody, but we will clarify things as we go along. But yeah, let's begin. You are bound together, as we have said before. Sigmar has chosen you for your skills and your abilities to perform certain functions, which apparently seems to be a lot of murdering. But anyway, and he has bound your souls together. You have formed this group. There seems to maybe be a little bit of tension between some of you. We'll work that out as we go along. And he has sent you to the floating city in the realm of Akshai, in a region called Batar. You come to the city. It is a grand place. It is very much a trading port. The city itself is floating in the air. You had to get transport, maybe via a local Caradron Overlord ship or a local Dwarven ship, to take you up to the city. And you have been brought up to the city into what is known as the game of Razed Gifts. On a yearly basis, the local merchant lords who run the city create this game where they buy and trade each other gifts to try and gain favour and get on the round table that runs the city itself, so kind of like the city council. And you have been tasked to meet with someone who I've forgotten the name of. You have been tasked to meet Raizon Ukche. No, Raizon Ukaji, who has asked for help within this game of Razored Gifts. He can be found at the Golden Bow House in the Merchant Quarter, where he will be plying his trade and has his own merchant shop just around the corner. But he does a lot of business from the Golden Bow. So this is a pub, or it's what they term as a pub or an inn or a tavern within the floating city. But when as you're walking around, you're kind of noticing the weirdness of the city and the fact that most of it seems to be like the back ends of boats, and all the buildings are built out of the word for the back end of a boat, stern.
Yeah.
Yes, English words. The back end of the boat where all the captain sits, and you get all the grand cabins and stuff like that. You notice that a lot of buildings are kind of built out of this, and there's planking between them. Every now and then there's a bit of rotten planking, and you can see, and you notice below you is like 1,000-foot drop. So you probably don't want to be falling off anything. But some of the buildings are grand and ornate, and they've got gold filigree on them, and they look fantastic. Some of them are old Duardin boats, which will be ironclads and made of metal. And then there's all sorts of other boats that have kind of come in. They've all been roped together, planks between them. And so then you get to this pub, and it seems to be the back end of just what would have probably been a smaller ship. And you see there's been a doorway cut into it so you can walk through. Well, 3 of you can walk through the door. One of you's a bit big. And there's also been getting lots of very strange looks as you are walking towards the Golden Bow. Because
I was going to say, is this the
hunters are not seen very often in the floating city. And you're also 12 foot tall. So,
is this place very cosmopolitan? Are there lots of different races and peoples here?
yes, it is very much a cosmopolitan town. It is a trading port. It used to be a market that would come together every year, and the boats would kind of come together that way. But then as it grew, and it then was given magical powers by their neighbours, who I can't pronounce the name of, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to call them the magical neighbours who lift boats.
The boat lifty people.
The boat lifty people.
ones.
Yeah, and it's now floating. It's very cosmopolitan. There's a lot of Duard in there. There'll be a lot of elves of the various natures there. There will be a lot of fire slayers around. So a lot of Irvis's cousins will be there. Because in the mountains below there is a massive lodge, fire slayer lodge. But there are very few Kernoth hunters or Sylvaneth within this area, because it's a flying boat. There's not many trees around for you to kind of go through. So yeah, people are looking at you going, I didn't know trees walked. What you?
I didn't know things came so small.
Mummy, the tree's talking to me. Help! Small child runs off and hides under his mother's skirt somewhere.
Are there little
like
crowds
that you
of
can't
teenagers
begin.
anywhere that I can encourage to climb him? Come on. First one to the top gets a gold coin.
I'm going to say yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say that to them. I'm going to
So
flick
yes,
a coin.
okay.
call them in.
What we're going to do is we're going to have the really scary shadowy murder elf talk to. Cool. Okay. So what species are you going to be looking for? You're going to be looking for an elf or a human or I would say Duardin teenager, but they're probably like 90 years
No.
old. So
Yeah, they'll be older than me, won't they? So, just human or elf, whatever sort of urchins are hanging around, I guess.
cool. Yeah. So let's have our first dice roll and see how well
Okay.
really scary, dark, pasty elf does it talking to teenagers.
I'm exactly the kind of person their parents have always told them not to talk to, aren't I? So.
Pretty much. So right, you're going to be
Right,
rolling a what should we have? We'll have mind and guile.
Guile. Okay,
I'm going to
let's
guess
just-
you don't have any training in Guile,
I don't have any training in Guile at all.
because you're not designed to talk to
Okay.
So it'll be just be so for people who've never seen this before, it's a dice pool system. They have 3 attributes: body, mind, and soul. I will give them one of those, and then a skill to use. They'll create a dice pool. I will then give them a difficulty number, which involves 2 numbers. One is the target number on the dice they need to roll, and the second number is the number of times they need to roll that. So here, Wraith is going to try and talk to a teenager to convince them to climb the tree. Using here the guile that you have.
Yep.
How big is your mind?
My mind is 3.
3, so you're going to get 3 dice.
Yep.
The teenager is going to be very, very scared of you, and is probably a little bit worried about the tree as well, because the tree's talking to people.
Fair enough.
So it's going to be quite hard.
I'm going to sound like the Witch King of Mordor or something, aren't I? Behind the tree.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So it's going to be quite difficult to convince this poor child.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say it's a difficulty number of 6, 2.
Okay. I need 2 6s, right?
You need
okay.
2 6s.
If you get this, I'm going to be so
No,
happy.
I got 1 6, but not 2.
Oh.
Shame you don't actually have any guile, and you can do some focus and fiddle the numbers a little bit. But yeah,
No. Okay.
unfortunately, the teenager, why are you talk? No one talks. You're scary, and just kind of backs away into this light, trying to back away into the shadows, but realizes that you're actually more shadow than the shadow is backing away. So starts backing away into the sunlight. It's like looking
Fair
very
enough.
confused as to why hiding in the sun seems like suddenly a very good idea.
Kids today never get out and climb trees.
Oh, there is actually one thing I probably should have mentioned, because you said you were going to give them a gold coin. Now,
I guess I don't have any gold coins.
no, you don't have any gold coins. The problem with Age of Sigmar is the fact that there's an entire realm based around metal.
Right.
So, yeah, having gold coins and a currency based on metal doesn't really work. Because it's like, yeah, we'll just sham on and I'm going to dig up some gold and I'm fine. That's cool. No. So you have, you'll notice on your thing, you have files, drops, and I can't remember what the other one is.
Spheres, it says.
Yes. This is basically, it's called Aqua Gyron, and it's the water of life, and it's just water from Gyra, and it's seen as, it's the way that they use currency. But
Okay.
you're not driven by currency, you're driven by the will of a god.
So I should be
theory.
murdering
In
teenagers.
theory. And apparently
Is this-
also convincing teenagers to climb trees.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
And presumably, if I just murder somebody in the street, that's going to be frowned upon.
See, now I know why he wanted someone to climb the tree. He wanted the tree to murder the child and just be like, that's one for me. It
If only I'd
counts.
thought that far ahead, actually. That's a really good idea.
Right, okay. Yeah, probably murdering someone on the streets is probably not a good thing.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
you wouldn't do it in front of people.
It's not like a chaotic place that's violence is just in there.
Down the alleyway with
the street. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I won't go and murder the teenager then.
Good.
Okay, right. You're at a pub after playing with some small children, threatening to throw a child into a tree. You come to the pub.
I will knock my staff on the hip of Ebernog and look up at him and be like, "So, are you going to try and find a window or something?"
Probably a good idea.
Yes, I don't see you fitting through this doorway.
Not
Alternatively.
comfortably.
Alternatively, I can cut you down to size.
I think that's a very generous offer, actually. Or you could lie down and crawl in, maybe.
You could carry me.
And we'd
Yes.
sit on you. Could use you as a chair.
There is actually a game thing that fixes this, but I'm just going to leave you to do whatever you want to do. So I'm going to ignore the fact that Yeah.
actually
So anybody who
personality
knows
to follow.
Age of Sigmar, the Kurnoth hunters do actually have an ability or a pet that
I've got
allows them
my
to do things.
quiverling.
But
Yeah.
yes, you have a quiverling, but your quiverling is going to be a 12-foot tree for the moment. Your quiverling is not with you.
Yeah.
It got intrigued by the child who ran away and hid.
Yeah, just chasing after a child. This is the way. No, I will sort of bend down to one of the sort of windows that let some light into this place, and just sort of like push it or pull it open and sort of lean in.
As you put your head through the window, you kind of big tree head.
Well,
there's a table.
big chunk of wood, and then a looming skull with balefully glowing green eyes that sort of like leans in through the window.
You open it up, you open the windows, and you kind of come through, and there's a table right by the window, and there's like two people are doing a business deal, having a chat over a pint of something or a glass of wine, and suddenly this tree skull appears. And like,
My apologies. I'm looking for Razon.
What?
Yes.
What?
Thank
he's
you,
in the-
Evanok.
Could you let him know we've arrived?
Yes,
I think he knows you've arrived as the entire pub just kind of turns around and looks.
Yes,
They're all
thank
kind
you,
of
Evanok.
they're
Just
all like-
terrifying the populace.
Yeah,
think I'll
just
go in
everyone's
now.
paused mid beer.
Stereotypically, the barman is stood there just kind of cleaning, not paying any attention. He's like, just another day in the pub, isn't it?
It happens every day. Yeah, exactly.
How does Irvis feel about being around many people? And he's not yet to hit anything.
I'm not bothered. I'm just gonna walk straight up to the bar, ask for a drink.
Cool.
Like nothing's going on.
Just not paying any attention to the entire crowd. Just going,
No.
barman just goes, "Oh, from the lodge, are you?"
Not from around here, actually.
Fair enough. Well, I'm guessing you want the usual Bugman's Ale 444X mental beer that we serve you. Just starts pouring you a drink without even actually waiting for an answer.
Feeding to dwarves and stripping varnish off wood.
Yeah, and puts a rather large drink. No, he's used to seeing Dwarden around, so there's a lot of the dispossessed. You get a lot of carriage-ons coming around as well. And he just puts a massive stein of Bugman's Ale in front of you, knowing full well only Dwarden can actually survive drinking it. And
I just
it's sat
go
in the
right
back.
for it.
Cool.
I'm going to walk into the middle of the bar where all these people are looking at the grave walker, and I'm just going to start going, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a victim by the... And I'm just going to do that around, stand there like, which...
Wraith, not the time.
Just checking a target-rich environment.
People start to leave. Some are politely leaving, some are kind of hiding under the table, crawling around, not trying to be pointed at by the weird elf. The people who are in the table around Ebenok are actually trying to get through the window around him.
Let me help. I just sort of like pull backwards and just stand there and wait for them to leave. Very kind. Just lean in again.
I think I'm going to sit at the vacated table now, where Ebenok is at the window.
Cool. Irvis is sat there drinking his wine. What's Seville doing?
I suppose I will walk over to the table that Wraith has just managed to free up. Look at him. Look at the bar. Look at the grave walker in the window. Look back at Wraith and be like, yes, well, you do have a knack for clearing an area, don't you? I suppose I'll go and try and find Raison then, shall I? Right.
Sounds like an excellent
That's a
idea.
yes. Right.
I'll keep an eye on the wraith.
Thank you.
Just lay a big hand on his shoulder.
Has Ebonut got any blossom or anything on him?
No, he's like sort of really sort of briary sort of the sort of they've cast themselves out, so they are no longer tapped into the realm of life. So there is no sort of burgeoning life. It's all
Right.
It's all old dead wood and thorns and stuff like that.
That's a pity because I was going to get one for my lapel.
I don't think I can do the group thing of growing you on. I don't think I have that power.
Okay, fair enough.
So, Raison is the only one left in the bar now. The barman is there as well. He's still there. He's like, well, this is a new experience. Yeah, so Raison is sat at the back of the bar, kind of looking like he owns the place in a way. Very rich and prim, proper, really nice waistcoat on, swirling a glass of red wine, and he's got what looks like a desk monkey jockey person with him with quill and ink, and who's trying desperately not to pay any attention to anything that's going on, and is shaking in his boots. Yeah, and he sat there and he's just kind of watching it with an amused smile. As he notices Seville, and he raises his glasses. I hear you're looking for me.
Yes. Are you free to chat?
There's no one else here, so yes. You have
Good.
certain way of entering a room, shall we say.
Lucky old me, hey?
Yes, you certainly seem to be in the right community.
So you needed help with something?
Yes. So you are the group. Okay, yes. So we have just started the game of Razed Gifts here within the floating city. This year, however, it's something is amiss. And I'm trying to find the name of the person that I wrote down, and I can't find it. There it is. Okay. I'm not sure how much of you know about the game of Razed Gifts, but there's been a rivalry for a couple of years between myself and the current head of the Wide Table, Strymon Jazzy. He's currently the leader, and we've had this rivalry for quite some time. However, it started to take a nasty turn, and I feel that it is going to affect the running of our businesses in the floating city, which will have this knock-on effect throughout the entire region and destabilise the region. So, I'm looking to make amends this year and actually give my gift to Strymon himself, rather than the lesser nobles to keep them placated. I want to try and mend this gap. So what I need from you is to find me the gift that I have chosen for him. Now, you'd expect that just nobles exchanging gifts is a relatively simple task. Well, we call it the game of Razed Gifts for a reason. It's not always that simple. And for someone of Strymon's standing, we need something rather special. Just a gift of money or clothes or weapons is not going to be good enough. Now, we know that Strymon craves a jewel that used to be in his family. It is the Conflagration jewel of Hanan. He's quite vocal about this, and he has always stated that anybody who can give him this jewel or return it to his family would be well received and would earn great standing within the Wide Table. Unfortunately, the jewel has never been successfully retrieved. Many have tried. Everyone has failed. So, I'm hoping that someone of your caliber, your innate abilities, shall we say, that has been granted to you, might stand a better success than the usual crowd. Would you be interested? Well, it doesn't matter whether you're interested. I know from other places that you kind of technically have to help me. Certain people don't want this city destabilized, so I would like you to find me this jewel and return it to me, please.
Right. Well, for a start, although there may be some amongst my associates who have innate abilities, I must assure you that mine are learned through hard work. But yes, we will take on board the gift-giving scenario that you want.
Yes, well, so what you will need to do is, obviously, I'm not just going to give you the name and kick you out the door, although I do kind of want to, because the elf is starting to look a little bit worrying, and I think the dwarf is about to finish all the buggermans in the bar. So, yes, we do luckily know the whereabouts of the jewel. It's actually quite well known, and therein lies the problem. It lies in the depths of Armada's Bane. In the bowels of a ship that I forgot the name of. In the bowels of the Pride of Heralthus used to be the capital ship of Batar's navy that was sank during the Age of Chaos against a great Nurgle fleet. It now rests in the centre of a storm to the north. Armada's Bane is well named. Our entire navy, our entire armada was wiped out. It's a interesting place, as I say. Most people who go there don't come back, and those who do, well, they're not exactly the same, and they don't last long. But I'm sure that won't bother you guys. I'm sure you'll be fine. Especially the tree. The tree, very rare that we see trees around here, but the tree certainly will have no problem. There's lots of wood floating around. There's lots of remnants of boats, you see. Intrigued as to know where, well, Duardin, you're not exactly seafaring people, but we'll see. But yes, so please.
I'm going to make the obvious assumption that this boat is at the bottom of some stretch of water.
It is beached on some rocks.
Okay, so it's wrecked rather than sunk.
Yes.
Right.
The entire region of Armada's Bane it's quite large. They were caught in a storm off the coast by some razed rocks, and the Nurgle fleet just came in and annihilated them. We don't really fully know what's happened because there were no survivors. People do go in occasionally to try and raid for treasures, but as I say, not many people actually come back.
I perk up at the sound of treasure. put down my drink for a second.
Treasure. Of course, the Duardin hears the word treasure. Yes, there's certainly some gold down there. Some gold is certainly at the bottom. We were quite close with the Fire Slayers back in the day. We still are. We did carry some of your weapons, and your rune-encrusted weapons were very, very helpful. So you might want to go having a look at those. And obviously,
weapons, you say?
as well. Yes. So, beyond.
And how far is this This is a ship journey to get there, is it?
You'll need to procure transport.
A rich man like you doesn't have a boat?
I have many boats. Many ships.
None he wishes to lose.
Well, he's not going to lose it because we're going to come back, aren't we? That's the whole point of us going. He said we're going to come back because we're so skillful. So surely, you can lend us a boat and a crew?
I can get you most of the way there, I think. I won't, obviously, will not risk my ships in Armada's Bane. It is too dangerous. But I can certainly drop you guys off nearby, shall we say? And you'll have to make your way to the Pride of Heralthus yourself.
Yes, I think that's appropriate.
Well, what are we waiting for? I
You
slam
finish your
down my
beer.
mug.
That's the signal then, I guess.
If you,
Yeah, I think that's the signal to action. Whenever Irvis bangs his mug down on the table, that's like there's the whistle going. Come on, then, let's go.
Rhizon turns to his little quivering Rekova admin
Scribe.
scribe. He says, give these guys, these wonderful people, a note that will get them access to any of our ships. See, not the escort ships, but just kind of a small boat, actually. I don't know, maybe. Or which one shall we have? Let's have the DC. You can have the DC. It's Skyworthy. And if you the note that my young quivering friend here will give you will inform the crew that you are to be taken to just outside Armada's Bane.
And you said Skyworthy.
Skyworthy, yes.
Okay.
You know,
Cool.
you want to jump off the side of the floating city. They do have boats in the sea, but I'm sure you probably don't want to jump off the city.
Well, I'm all right jumping off, actually, but I'm not so sure about the rest of them.
It's quite a fall, you know. It's like 1,000 feet. Or whatever.
Feel free, Wraith, if you want to jump off the side of the city. We won't stop you.
I didn't say I wanted to jump off it. I said it was something that I could probably cope with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'll take that note then.
And he hands you the note, and he just sits there swilling his glass of wine, looking at you going,
A pleasure. And then I'll turn
hope
around.
to see you back at some point soon, maybe. I hope to see you back.
We'll be back. We'll all be back.
Everyone will be back, honest Gov. In one piece. No brains is lost at all. Yep, cool. So you've got
Right, let's go.
possession of a note of mark, which basically tells the crew of the DC to take you to Armada's Bay.
Cool.
Yeah, I should out myself from the window.
Half the window comes with you. You now have.
Not again. Just pull it apart a bit. Just
The
leave it on the
lovely
floor.
new necklace you've got there, Ebonic.
It
Really offsets your eyes. It's lovely.
There's kind of like a crowd kind of gathered now outside the pub, the Golden Bound, kind of looking at Ebonok from behind, because all they can see is the backside of this Colonel Hunter who stuck his head through a window, and people running from the pub in fear. And they've all kind of gathered around outside going, what the...
Yeah, just pull and turn. See everyone. There's just like a blink in the green eyes. Oh. There are.
There's a teenager running around going, "Don't go near them. There's a murder elf. Wants you to climb the tree. It's weird.
Don't take the money. It's a trap.
It's a trap." Small child going, "Mommy,
Mr.
please
Murder Elf,
talking
to you.
again."
Thank you very much.
I think the bar is open again. Could one of you direct me to the port? Obliged. It's this way. Just start walking off in the direction of the port.
Yeah, I'm going to follow the tree.
As Evanok walks down the alleyways and things towards the port, just a crowd kind of seems to part in front of him. You hear this kind of like thump, thump, thump. As wood hits on wood. The slow, methodical marching sound. People just kind of, what the hell is that? And then they kind of stop paying attention to the big tall thing and see the rest of the group as it kind of marches in an order of height. you got a tree, you got a tall murder elf, you got a human, and then you got a dwarf. It's kind of like,
It's planned that way, you know. It's just
Everyone pays attention to the distraction, and suddenly they are in much more trouble than anticipated.
cool.
Yeah, just head towards. Basically, every time it sort of comes into a remote question of which direction to go, I'll sort of find one of the nearby, because obviously it's a very populous marketplace. I'll just find someone and just go which direction to the port and just get them to point out. Yeah, it seems to be fairly forthcoming.
Yeah, everyone's very, very friendly because there's like they don't really know how to react to a talking tree.
I did not realise.
They've heard of the silver,
Yeah.
but they've never seen one, and it's like trees do really talk.
I did not realise your peoples were so friendly and accommodating. I sort of turned to Sibel.
Well, you know, we don't have time to go into it, but
I'm kind of wondering whether Ryzen was hoping we'd do this kind of on the quiet rather than processing through the town, you know, with the crowd.
I think, Wraith, with your introduction to the pub, at no point think that we would be quiet.
No, true. Yeah, Sophie isn't my middle name, that's for sure.
Bit hard to be quiet when you got a 12-foot tree.
Yeah.
I do not do things quietly.
I don't know. Check your character sheet.
I do not do things quietly.
As we're walking along, to say, "Nothing to see here, folks. Go away. Go about your business. Nothing to see here."
Ebonnock firmly
Except for the
falls
tree, except for
into
me,
the
except for the-
category of if you can't stealth, you intimidate instead.
That's
It
valid.
seems to be working.
Yeah.
Pretty
But
much.
yeah, just get to the port. We know there's obviously a thing there waiting for us to take. He said it was a couple of days journey away from the
It's
city
probably
itself.
going to be 2 or 3 days journey.
Okay. So I
in
imagine
a Caradron or Duardin.
yeah. So I imagine sort of the only thing that might need to do is provision ourselves, but
Yeah.
as an adventuring group, that's something we probably have an anticipatory sort of week's supply, and then whenever we run low and we are in somewhere, get another week's supply or whatever it is. I don't even know if I eat.
I don't know. I think you just
Yeah.
to walk on soil every now and then. Yes, you will have supplies, and obviously the boat itself will have supplies on it. So rather than go shopping and spend 3 hours shopping, which
Bottle episode! Surprise bottle episode!
surprise! Age of Sigmar's a game about shopping.
We all built our characters just for shopping.
Supermarket sweep time, as much as you can.
Yeah.
Before the fire mage sets fire to the...
It's a fire sale. What makes you say that? Fire mage.
We like the last game of Warhammer Fantasy we did as the live stream with Gehenna Gaming. We did spend a lot of time shopping, and it was hilarious. And they all went a bit weird. But
So what was the name of the ship we're aiming for, Swan?
DC.
DC.
DISCI.
DISCI.
Disky.
DC. DC.
D-I-S. Sorry.
DISCI. Just
Hey, do you want to get sued?
a tree start dancing down the street. DISCI.
God, now I've just got Kurnoth hunters being
Yeah.
like blade singers, beautiful dancers, just this huge 13-foot tree that just sort of moves gracefully and lithely despite his epic size.
Oh, this needs to be a thing now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm here for this visual.
I need dancing Ebonnock. Dancing Ebonnock is a good plan.
Games Workshop or Cubicle 7, if you're listening and watching, dancing trees, it needs to be in the next book.
Hell, there's a perfect opportunity. You've just released a massive Wood Elf expansion for Total War Warhammer. I need dancing trees, damn it.
Yes.
The
Do
character
it.
already exists.
Do we need a dexterity check for this to see how good your dancing is?
See, who's
Does the
best
tree want
dancer?
to dance? And does Ebonok actually want to start dancing?
There is an opportunity later. I've got an idea for how Ebonok sort of fights, and it is the sort of the flow of natural order, so things move smoothly and steadily and consistently. Right now, there is no need to dance, so I will hold on to the song that is in the tree's heart.
It's probably a wise idea. A 13-foot tree dancing around on thin planks of wood. Probably
You are so small. You keep
so
getting
small,
under
it's
my
so far
feet.
down. Why is my foot stuck in a plank? Cool. So, as you have this discussion about a dancing tree, walking towards the port, you do get to the docks, and this is quite it's even more busy and crowded than as you were walking through the main town. And it appears that this is quite a trading hub. You see around the main port, you've got the guild halls of the merchants around there, the guild halls for the navies and all these kind of people. And there are trading stalls around, like market stalls, people selling all sorts of foods, hot foods, cold foods, drinks.
You said there was a navy, sort of a naval either wares or store or sort of a recruitment office, something like that.
Yeah, there'll be a naval recruitment office.
Yeah, can I just sort of pop by to sort of the naval
Sign up.
store? Yes, I float. I want to be one of your vessels.
If I lie on the water, look, I'm a.
I have my own staff. Just sort of approach the naval officer and sort of lean in.
Yeah, go for it.
I have been tasked to travel to your Armada's bane. I know this is a journey that people make, but as the Navy, perhaps you have more extensive maps. It is of keen importance that I know the area. Is this something you can accommodate? I have been given to understand that your peoples are very friendly and accommodating.
The captain that you are speaking to just kind of stands in front of you and looks at you. Maps? Yes, we have
Oh.
maps.
Of Armada's bane, I am willing to pay. I understand that it is a natural rock formation. Because we can't go straight there. We're getting dropped off nearby. I figure the only people who have sounding maps would be the Navy, because they need to know for their vessels and stuff. And they lost a ship, sort of a flotilla there before. So
They'll come back and say, here's the best map we've got. If you could just fill it in as you go, it'd be great.
This big bit here that's got nothing. Yeah, just pencil, charcoal.
Don't mind
Give it to the elf. He seems very dexterous. We just want really accurate.
Yeah. So just kind of just says it's like, why are you going to Armada's Bane? This is a dangerous area. Why would a tree want to go to Armada's Bane?
The White Table have gifted us an opportunity. We seek a jewel.
Oh, you're one of them.
No, I have been given the gift of tasked by your god. Thus I work for those in need. I seek no treasure myself, only a fitting resting place for this. And he taps what is sort of his chest, which makes up as we can see the vines of thorns that have died are holding together an actual skeletal rib cage and sort of spinal column. That is all I seek, but to do so, I must have maps.
The captain kind of walks up to you and taps the bones in your chest.
No. It would be ill fortune to touch. I sort of stop his hand before it does.
Why would it be ill fortune? Have you brought something unnatural aboard the floating city?
It is of nature now.
That is not what I asked.
I'm going to poke my head around and say, it'll be ill fortune because I wouldn't like it.
Oh, we've got one of those as well. Interesting bunch.
I suspect you ought to be a bit more respectful.
I thought you said they were accommodating.
Well,
I
no.
didn't.
Technically, I said that I
We didn't have time to go into it now. But the suggestion was that they still were.
It depends on many factors.
Okay.
Bear with me, though. Hello. Do you have a map?
We have maps, but we're not going to give them to you. We don't just hand out maps here. Why would you think we hand out maps to anybody? I know you lot are I'm not sure what you are. Dwarf, an elf, a human, a tree? It's a bit of a weird group, but whatever. No, we're not going to give you a map. Not, especially not to Armada's Bane. That's a stupid place to go.
Is that because you don't have one for Armada's Bane?
I did not say that.
No, but it was implied.
Take whatever meaning you want from it.
So, how exactly would you like to go about this? Will you take coin?
Are you trying to bribe an officer now?
No, I'm trying to buy a map.
These
Well,
tourist
go to a
offices
shop,
are
then.
rubbish, aren't they?
Your maps will be the most accurate, out of necessity.
Yes, out of our necessity. They are our maps.
So we are offering to have one scribed so that we may go about a mission for your council body. Is that not? Do you not answer to the White Table?
This is taking too long. Can I intimidate him?
Go for it.
I mean, like I'm saying. Well, the first bit was in character. The second bit,
Love it.
Yeah. This is taking too long. Guys, can I intimidate him? I'm the smallest one here. I'm going to be the scariest.
I vote in favour.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Let's go for some intimidation.
sure.
So I'll you do your intimidation, and then I'll tell you what the role is going to be. So
All right.
this guy who doesn't seem to be scared of a tree or a murder elf at the moment.
Is there like a counter or something in between us, or like, is he behind a desk or something?
Yeah, let's say he's behind a desk.
I had one of those little like join today banners things, you know, like the wooden
Yeah, there's a sign
almost-
above him. It's swinging in the wind. It says, "Join, sign up today. The Navy welcomes you. Take
Yeah,
the
it's almost like the
council's penny."
Charlie Brown sort of psychiatry booth, 5 cents for psychiatric help.
So I'm gonna climb up on the desk, loom over him, hand like just above my axe, and ask him, "You feel small now, human?"
Small? No, not as small as you.
Well, I can cut you down to size then.
Body intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I don't know if there's assistance in this. I don't know how the sort of dice pools work in that regard, but I am more than willing to lend whatever assistance to the dwarf.
You can lend help.
Me too.
I'm guessing I'm gonna make this probably relatively easy, obviously, because there's a big ass tree staring at him, and there's a murder elf just around the corner.
Mm-hmm. One of my talents is intimidating manner.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Let me have a look at the actual sheet and see what that says.
Is the captain on his own here?
There are other people around, but
Okay.
He is now. He chose a bad day to be an arse. There are a lot of problems with this scenario. I think we need to be elsewhere.
yeah. So you're getting advantage on this roll anyway, so that gives you an extra dice. But as
I'm guessing that's the equivalent of the
we're
help
helping you,
anyway.
so I'll give that as a bonus as well on top of that. So you
Oh, nice.
an extra 2 dice to this.
Okay, so how many dice?
Yeah, so it will be your body plus intimidation. I think there's a
Okay, so body. So that's 4 dice. My body's 4, and then an extra die for intimidation, and then extra die so 6 dice total.
yeah.
7 plus 1 for us helping you.
No, he's got no
Yeah.
intimidation skill.
Okay.
He has intimidating
Oh.
manner, which gives him the bonus. That bonus.
Ah, okay, I understand.
All right.
We're gonna say 5-2. So he's used to people badgering him.
Okay.
But he's now getting a little bit fed up, and there is a scary ass semi-naked dwarf on his table threatening him with an axe. So no, we'll say
All right. So I need
5-1. Sorry.
5-1. So 1.
Basically,
Explain.
1
Sorry.
plus.
Explain the dice roll again. 1
Yeah,
plus.
so
Okay.
you're gonna get your 6 dice. Roll them. You need
Mhm.
1 5.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
there we go.
Yeah, so 5
easy,
or
easy.
5 or more. 6.
okay. All right. Yeah. So that's 3 6s and a 5.
Okay, so you have massively succeeded here. The guy just kind of stares back. He's like, looks at you, looks at your axe, looks back at your face.
There is room
Looks at
in the grave
the elf.
for more.
Looks at the tree. Notices there's some axe marks in the tree. Looks back at the dwarf. Is like, yeah. Reaches into a drawer, pulls out and hands a scroll to you. This should help. As he suddenly just completely changes manner, and he's just like, yeah, no, you can leave now. As he also starts to notice other people are starting to pay attention as this big ass angry orange head dwarf is screaming at him.
Or we deprive them of their map. Seville, you are a learned individual. Maybe you could transcribe it so as to not
You can
leave
keep the
them.
map. Don't worry. We've got lots of them. Don't
Oh,
worry. He's like,
there are many
just be
more.
gone.
Very well. I shall help you down, Irvis. Just
I'm not pleased about this. Wriggling all the way down.
it's just little legs running the entire time.
Oh, amazing.
I tossed the map at Seville as well. So don't care much for words.
I will probably fail to catch it and pick it up off the floor and dust. Yes, thank you, Evers.
Yeah. You now have a map of the region that you are within. I can't really show you a region. actual map. There is an actual map. I can't show it to you, obviously, because that involves sharing screen and messing everything up. Yeah, so you can see that where Armada's Bane is, and you can see it's quite a rocky region of the coastline. It's not a sandy, nice place. It kind of looks a little bit possibly like Ben's background, but more sharp and pointy. Imagine crossing Ben and Ivo's backgrounds together. And maybe with a bit of actually Blue's background as well, because we are in quite hot.
Combo.
So just kind of combo everything together, and it's really, really bad. And there's also broken ships and everything there, and cool. But that's kind of obviously that's not written on the map, but that's kind of what you get the impression of when you.
Here there are fire bits.
And
Here be fire. Here be pointy rocks. Don't go here. This be edge of map. Big beastie.
Right then.
Let's go.
Cool.
Did we-
Cool. So what we're going to do, because I forgot to go before we started the stream, is you're going to have a nice little chat about what you're going to do when you get on the boat, and I'm going to quickly nip to the loop because I completely.
Of course, character development.
Character development. Learn who you are.
Well planned. Well planned.
Yes, this is also a very convenient point, so I do apologise. It's my own fault.
No worries.
That was well done, Urves.
Yeah.
Not very sound mind, but effective.
Subtlety isn't in my nature.
It's not
Yes.
really-
Or is it apparently in wraiths?
Or yours, Ebonarch. Yes.
I was given a gift. My gift is not to be of the Tree Striders, but to have been of the front lines. I do not hide. I allow others to hide behind.
I do agree with you, though. Urvis, your short temper does come in handy sometimes.
Well, as long as it gets us to the treasure quicker, I'm all for it.
And I presume the fight.
Sure, that too.
It would be worth considering that Nurgle's foul touch has left its mark.
Yeah, so I was having a think about that.
The wrought god's unclean presence should be presumed great.
A rot god.
The wrought god.
And here we're living on a flying load of wood.
Down there we
Is
will
that a
be
problem?
on. Down there we will be on collapsed bridges, amongst other things. I imagine it will not be easier there than it would be here. But it is in my past to have fought his servants before. Best not to let them touch you or wound you. The air itself can get fetid.
Nurgle's friendly.
He just wants to give you cuddles.
He's affectionately known as Grandfather Nurgle. Or
He is indeed.
Granddaddy.
My other force is Nurgle. I play Nurgle and Kits.
Grandpappy Nurgle just hugs. What's wrong?
Just all about the hugs. all for the hugs.
He's so squishy.
With that in mind, though,
Very squishy.
Seville, your magics of calling on the aid of creatures may be used against us. It would be better to avoid providing them more chaff.
Indeed. I think you might be right.
Bloody trees. I haven't got the faintest idea what you're talking about. Come on, let's go. Come on, Urvis. You might be a blooming short ass fella, but at least you don't talk forever. Come on. Let's go.
I didn't think I liked you, Elf, but these two.
Just yeah. Come on, let's.
All talk, no action.
We need some blood.
Where's this ship?
We need some blood.
Yeah, everyone in the market just turns around, looks at you, and just kind of goes. As Ebonok's like, "Where's the ship?" Everyone just goes like, "It's there."
I want to stop at the chemist's and get Ebonok some strepsils or something. Get rid of that really deep voice.
It is resonance from wood. I am not gifted with organic parts like you.
Right. Anyway, boat. Right. Okay.
We get on a ship.
Finally.
I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Yeah. So okay. As I say, it's you see the DC. It has the DC. It has DC written on the back of it. But as you walk up, you notice that the back is also not very high, and it doesn't appear to be like the grandest ships that you have seen around, or that the floating city is made of. It certainly looks well used as well, shall we say. The paint is faded, cracked, and falling off. It appears as though Rhizon is just like giving you the smallest.
It's a junker.
It'll do. It's better than nothing.
As I say, it's sky-worthy. Whether it will actually stay up fully in the sky when we get a 12-foot, 9,000 pound tree on it, or whether it starts to slowly sink or not, we'll see. But you obviously need to land at some point to get off the thing. So this may be a bonus.
Well, if there's a rope, we can, when we get low enough, we can just chuck Ebonok over the bag with a rope around him, and he can just be dragged along.
And the just launches.
Particularly are we over sea for any of this? So
yeah. Sorry. The floating city is actually over the sea.
Right. So
It's,
great.
it's kind of like half sea, half land. It's on the coast.
You don't
You'll
mind,
find
do you,
that
Ebonok being dragged
Ebonok
behind
will
the
work as perfect ballast. At 900 kilograms, I am ballast for a ship. I just have to stand in the center, hugging the mast. If I walk too fast to one side, we will tip.
If you run like from the back to the front really quickly, you can get the ship to do a flip.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll. That's.
Everybody, hold on!
And jump
Perfect.
and land.
Irvis, should we get another boat? I'm not feeling super confident with these.
Mm-hmm. I do have some overlord cousins who might be able to lend us a ship.
Yeah, there's an Arknaut frigate over there. Should handle it.
Yeah, the Arcane frigate just completely covered in guns and bulbous metal things, and just like proper weapon of war. It's like, and you've got this small little boat. You're just going to fit on.
It's the dinghy that comes off that normally.
Yeah.
Aw.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
So
get on. Unless anyone's trying to block our passage, just get on the ship and wait for the.
there is one person on the ship, a rather kind of grumpy-looking man, probably
Me.
a tall version of
There are
that
two
version.
grumpy people on the ship.
He certainly smells fragrant. He's got a bottle of something in his hands, and he's just kind of leaning against the tiller or the wheel.
The wheel? I think it's called a wheel, isn't it?
I'm gonna guess it. We'll call it a wheel. He's leaning against that, kind of staring into space. Probably in his 50s, greying. Looks.
Human.
Yeah, he's human. An old salty dog type character. And he just kind of looks. As who's going to step on the boat first?
Oh, I'm on it. I'm leaping over the edge.
Kind of as you leap over the edge, it kind of slightly wobbles a little bit. It's not perfectly flat against the jetty, and the guy notices like, It's an orange thing. Looks at his bottle. Looks back at you. Like, orange thing's walking.
Our captain is drunk.
Sweet. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll march up the gangplank and walk towards him.
He can't really focus on you. He's just kind of like, he knows there's something there. And he's like, vaguely like, orange and some.
Where's your captain?
A lot worse.
Where's your captain?
Who said the captain? I'm a captain. Who said that? I can't. What? Who are you?
Savelle, can you come and talk to him? Because he's not.
I'm not Savelle. I'm Imbertus.
Are there any witnesses around here? Because
we don't know how to fly the ship. Just putting it out there. We don't know how to fly the ship, right?
You can. Yeah, I think you're going to learn.
I'm desperately resisting the urge to spill some blood for Kane right now.
Go for it. Kill him. I don't.
You better be quick.
Yeah, I'll step on and waving the note. Yes, hello. This doesn't bode well, but we're meant to be taking a journey with you, I think.
Oh, you want a journey, do you? I'll give you a journey.
It
Yes.
would be.
Oh, what the bloody hell is... Oh my god!
To complete that statement.
There's a tree. It talks.
I do.
I should stop drinking this shit.
To
Yes,
I take
was
the
just
bottle
reach
from him.
out,
Yeah.
wrap my fingers around the bottle and just give it to Irvis. Congratulations, you are now a sober captain.
Ebonic, it doesn't work like that. I know you're.
Oh, it does. And I pick him up and hold him upside down over the side of the ship and just begin to shake him until he vomits.
Oh,
Because he's upside down, he's going to go all over his face, down up his nose.
I am aware of your physiology. This has worked before.
I would have done him more of a favour just by killing him, wouldn't I?
Probably.
Nervous, you are now in possession of the strongest alcohol you have ever tasted.
Oh,
It
I'm
will make you
downing it.
see talking trees, so be careful.
Yeah, you down it and you become really happy and really and like life is really good. You're going on an adventure. You're going to go fight things. But yeah.
Once
so-
he's finished with his sort of ablutions from taking care of that, I'll sort of like pour some water over his head from the I'm guessing there's a rain barrel for water on the ship.
Just dunk him in it.
No, because we drink from that and he's got vomit on it.
Oh, that's a fair.
So I'll get a ladle, just pour it over his head, and then just sort of look at him and get a second, then pour it over his head. And then just sort of lean, like sort of crouch down onto my haunches and lean, which means I'm probably only about 7 foot tall, but sort of desperately trying to make as much eye contact with him as possible. We have a task, and you are a part of it. I require you to be sober and efficient.
Oh, but I do my best fighting drunk.
Not you. You.
Can you shh? Just. Is there anybody who can talk quietly? There.
Is this boat just one big open deck, or
Yeah,
is
it's an
there
open
like
deck
a?
boat.
Right.
You're going to get cold at night.
Just wondering whether there was any possibility of finding other crew.
There's certainly a lot of people around in the dockyards.
Not that are likely to be more sober than this man.
Oh, there's a lot of. I think everybody in the entire city is more sober than this man. I don't think you find you'd be on a mission to try and find someone more pissed than this guy. That's the next session. Find a guy more drunk than the captain.
Do we have any spells that can sober him up, or are we just destined to wait here for 8 hours until he wakes up again? Or do we want him to go driving drunk?
Do none of us know how to drive a skyboat?
The only one who is likely to have any form of experience in that way is either going to be Urvis or Seville, depending on your kind of background. Like Urvis, you obviously are a Duardin, but you come from the group of Duardins who live under the mountains. Not so much in the sky. You kind of look at Caradon's a bit weird as to why they would want to live in the sky. But you've probably been on boats before. Seville, as a human, you've definitely been on boats before, sky boats before, part of transporting armies maybe around and stuff. Ebonok, nah.
No.
It's not the ground.
No.
It's not got soil. It's not got trees.
I walk 2 places. I get picked up to go to other places by ships, but usually I am literally the ballast. But actually, I'm gonna leave this guy to Seville. Can I go find the sort of the gardens at the centre of the city, sort of striding off, sort of somewhat quickly? I will return.
I'm turning to Urvis and saying, "Oh, where the hell is he going now? We finally got to the boat, and now he's going off again."
I literally just want to stride to the gardens. Using my sort of nature skill, can I find something that can remove toxins from within this sort of natural garden, which they have to grow stuff, knowing what I am? And I'm just going to collect some of these sort of plants and sort of these flowers or whatever it is that will help, and then return and, if I have to, force feed this guy or whatever it takes to get this guy clean, sober, and efficient quickly.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. It's going to take you. Oh, I'm going to give you a time frame. It's going to take about an hour and a half to do that.
Yeah.
And I will say yes. You do find the stuff. I'm not going to make you roll for it. It's part of who you are. You understand nature and things that make people feel better. But yeah, so you now have an hour and a half without the big talking tree. Run away!
I'm still giddy, right, from the alcohol.
You're very happy, yeah. You're like really properly enjoying life. Does Urvis want to try and pilot the ship? Are you feeling that giddy about life?
Yeah, I might try and pilot the ship.
Ebonok's gonna come back to the berth and have to recreate "Dude, where's my ship?" Right, whilst there's just an hour and a half, I'm just going to nip and I'll be right back.
Now, Ebonok will get here and we'll find our 3 new characters.
Yeah. I don't know that I really want to pilot the ship. I'm just sort of, drunkenly wandering around the ship, maybe spinning the helm, just sort of having a good time.
Yeah, as you spin the wheel, the captain is just like, as the boat starts to rock to the side because it's trying to move in its moorings, he's just like properly just curled up in a ball, crying about his life choices at the moment.
Yeah, well, I've got a solution for that.
As I say, there is a dock and port where there are many other sober people who may or may not be able to be persuaded.
So is this guy? Is he going to be the owner of this boat, or is he just going to be a paid captain?
As far as you're aware, he's just the captain of the boat. The ship is most likely going to be in the ownership of Rhizon and his merchant operations that he has. So
I think while he's curled up in a fetal position on the ship, I'm going to grab him by the hair, lift his head up, look at him, and just be like, so, do you usually work on this ship alone?
No, yes.
Where do the rest of Ryzen's captains hang out? You can go and get another one of them to come and take over this guy.
And he kind of points to a big ship.
Okay. I'm going to head over towards that big ship. Savell, if you're not coming, can I take that note?
No, I'll come with you while the tree's gone wandering.
Are you guys just going to leave me here?
Well, you look like you were having
Drunkenly.
so much fun on that wheel.
Whee!
It's just don't fall over the side, Irvis, okay?
All right.
As we start walking to the other ship, I'm going to turn to Wraith and be like, I'm not sure how I feel about him like this. It's very unnerving.
We're doomed under any circumstances, so we might as well be doomed and have him happy.
Well, that's the spirit.
So, when you get to the other boat, there are there's a few people. So this is a much grander, proper galleon style boat. Very regal, very grand. Looks like it could be maybe the main ship of his fleet. And there's quite a few what look like captains or at least important people hanging around outside of it. Some of them look like they're doing business. Others are just kind of talking to each other, telling stories and things.
Okay, I'm gonna stride up towards the gangplank of the boat and say I need to speak to the captain of this ship. If this ship is owned by Ryzen Casey, and I need to speak to him now.
As you walk up to the gangplank, guards stop you. They put halberds out in front of you. It's like, the ship is off limits to anybody except crew. If you want to get on board, speak to them. And you point
I don't.
to the
But you're not.
captains.
Okay, group of captains. Did I just walk past the group of captains to talk to this guy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn about. Mark.
I'll be stood next to the captains watching him like.
Can't take this lot anywhere.
Yeah, Savell, you better do this because I'm just making a fool of myself.
Oh,
And
really?
When I make a fool of myself, I kill people to make myself feel better.
You know, I hadn't even noticed, Ray.
You're narrowing down my choice of people to kill, you know, by saying that.
You're such a flirt. And I'll turn to the group of captains. Hello, I'm wondering if any of you can help me. You see, we've got this note from Ryzen, and we're supposed to be on this ship called the DC, and we need to take it out for a spin. Unfortunately, the captain seems to be a little bit shaken. We were wondering if one of you could take us instead.
They
They hear the name Dici, and you see quite a few of them start to snigger. And one of them says, "Oh, so you Ryzen sent you to him, did he? Well, what did you do to piss him off?"
Shall I show you?
No.
And I'm sure
Thank you, Ray.
Hubertus is probably also a little bit shaken, not just stirred.
Eeny, meeny,
Not just
miny,
saying,
moe.
the joke failed. Oh well. Shit. Serves me right for trying to be funny.
I would like to use my intuition to see if any of the people stood there look like they're likely to help.
Yeah, cool. Go for it. So you'll do mind and intuition. And
Yep.
what should we have? We'll make it 4-2. Difficulty number 4-2. So there's a group of them. It'll take you a little bit of time to kind of actually recognise and work out how they are reacting to you. But you're probably used to dealing with this kind of crowd. Being
I've got a 6 and a 5.
6 and 5. You have certainly seen that one of them seems to kind of be laughing slightly less than the others and making less jeery comments than the others. It kind of looks a little bit sympathetic, shall we say, to your current plight.
Cool. I'll turn to them and be like, yes, are you free by any chance?
Depends what you mean by free.
As in time, darling.
We kind of gathered that. Like, what would you require of me?
Oh, just to pilot the ship for a while.
Not the DT. I'm not piloting that hunk of junk.
Do you have your own ship?
I certainly have my own ship. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have my own ship.
Oh, excellent.
I have this lapel, and he rubs a nice little lapel.
Oh, and it's beautiful.
Why, thank
Truly,
you.
truly, you must have worked very hard. You must be quite skilled then, yes?
I'm very good at making the deal, shall we say, yes. Caradrons have got nothing on me. All their clauses and loops and missed words to catch you out. Ah.
Well, this is the note that we got from Rise on, and I'll show him.
Well, it looks like Phil has got a shaky hand recently.
Yes.
What did you do to the poor child?
My shadowy companion here can be a little intimidating.
Can be useful at times having some intimidation going on, but Phil is a little bit sensitive, so yes. Okay, well, I can see that. So you want to go to Armada's Bane, apparently, according to this.
Yes, please.
Well, knowing how Imbertus is probably very, very drunk at the moment, and that ship is in no state to get anybody anywhere, I'm kind of inclined to think that he wants to kill you. But I will, I will take you to Armada's Bane. I have to go up that way anyway. I can drop you off nearby. I can't guarantee that I can pick you up, but I can certainly get you there.
Very kind. It's much appreciated.
It's just the two of you, yes?
Actually, no. There's
a couple of companions.
Yes, there's two more of our party.
One of them's really small. One of them's really, really short.
Oh, so you have a Duardin, that's fine. They're usually quite good. As long as it's not one of the dispossessed. They're a bit weird. They have a thing about not being where they used to be.
He's a really happy chap. He's just at the moment we've left him playing, enjoying himself.
Duardin happy?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. Anyway, well, sounds interesting. I'd be certainly happy to meet him. So just the three of you then?
No, there is another in our party.
Another?
Yes.
He's a bit taller, this one. You know.
Why are you doing...
Because he's quite tall. You know, he's taller than me. Yeah, he's
You're like 7 foot.
Or at least.
Similar, yeah.
Similar in height. Okay.
7 foot-ish. You've got it's a big boat, isn't it? Though I'm sure
Yes, it's quite a grand boat. We do travel and we do a lot of trade with the big cities, Hammerhal.
I'm sure your magnificent ship and your piloting skills will mean it doesn't matter who's in our party who will join you because you're so good at your job.
You do know how to flatter.
You'll never go hungry playing to a rich man's ego.
Well, okay, if you could give me shall we say half an hour to prep things and to round off some business here and and we'll be on our way. The ship's just over there. It's called the I don't know, because you've got a different one.
The disco.
It's called the disco ball. And it's got a big, and it's quite easy to spot. It's got a big shiny ball on top of it that spins, and Urvus is going to love it in his happily merry state. I'm not sure the Shadow Elf is going to like the amount of light that's on the boat shines on this disco ball.
I can tolerate it for a day or two.
So yeah, he wanders off to complete his business, and yeah, no, it doesn't have a disco ball on it because please and nerd rage at me, people who are watching.
The Poison Orchid or something daft like that. There's always a fun name for them.
I'm going to call it the Sepulchral Oculum because there's two on the page down there. One's called Sepulchral and one's called Oculum, so it's called the Sepulchral Oculum. So Oculum for short, because that's easy to say.
Oculum.
I'm struggling over the L's. Oculum.
Yeah, I can spell oculum. That's cool.
Cool.
Excellent. I will
We're going
turn to
find the
Ray.
tree then.
Well, actually, no. I was thinking we'd go retrieve Urvis first if he hasn't crashed that poor and fortunate
Okay.
ship, boat, dinghy.
Death trap.
What has Urvis been doing while these two? Well, Savelle has been flirting with this other captain.
So I imagine he's come down a little bit from his initial giddiness. If anything, he might be feeling a bit of the depressive effects of the alcohol. And he's just he's lost interest in the helm at this point. He's just him and the captain there, maybe trading some stories of days past.
Because I used to remember when this ship was grand. I had a crew of 100 souls.
Sure. Great.
No.
Nice.
Not even my own soul is gone.
Your soul?
Can I have yours?
What? My soul? Yeah. What?
Who are you again?
Urvas, the Axeless.
The Axeless.
Yes.
Why are you... That's a funny name. Why are you Axeless?
It's a great shame. And he's just starting to tear up now. Just telling this story, telling this tale. I was trusted with guarding my father's axe. It's our prized family heirloom. But I got drunk one night and I lost it. And in shame, I've been tasked. I know not where.
Oh, that's not good.
It's so long ago at this point. I don't remember what it looks like.
It's like a sword.
There is a pointy bit.
Oh, maybe does it? Could be you've got an axe on your belt. Is that it?
No, it's a much finer axe than this.
It's a shame. Shouldn't be losing things. I lost things. I lost my ship. Oh, you've got a weird furry creature as well. They bring bad luck. Ships.
You got any more of that drink? What was that?
That was whalebone vodka. And he's digging around into like the sacks and things, and just really brings out 2 bottles. He's like, have another one. Gives you one and takes a big swig. Sky Whale Bone Vodkas. Wipes many a memory.
I hit him really, really hard on the back.
Yeah, make me a... we'll just do body. Just make me a body.
Body roll.
We'll just see what happens to him as you accidentally drunkenly slam him in the back with a big fist.
All right. 3 4s and a 2.
3 4s and a 2. Okay, fine. You hit him hard and he kind of sprawls forward and kind of lands on top of the wheel and spins. The wheel spins and the ship kind of lurches quite violently to the side. He doesn't fall out. You don't knock him out of the ship. He's like, you got a strong punch there, buddy. He takes another swig of his drink.
I go grab the other bottle.
This is my drink.
Maybe.
You now have 2 bottles of Sky Whale Bone vodka.
I think I'm considering them. I'm contemplating another swig. When maybe someone comes back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who wants to come back first to this scene of the dwarf contemplating drinking this really vile, potent alcohol mix, and the boat kind of doing that a lot. The drunken captain is just flailing everywhere now.
If the time aligns, Ebonok can come back.
For convenience reasons, and I've just looked at the time when we kind of actually need to get you moving on the boat. You all arrive back at the same time.
Wow, that's
Convenience. So yes, Wraith, Seville, you come back and you obviously see the tree, the Kurnoth Hunter. I will stop calling you a tree. You are a Kurnoth Hunter, walking through the crowd and again creating a parting of the waves, a parting of the people, coming through, and like you see the mast of the ship kind of just swaying in the distance.
It is not a good thing.
Don't worry, we've got another ride. Come on.
You all get together and you see Urbis on the boat as the boat's kind of rocking, kind of contemplating this blue liquid in 2 bottles.
Let's retrieve Urvis. Say, come on, Urvis. We're not going on this boat now. We've got a bigger boat for you to play on. Come on, let's go.
Oh, my friend. He's such a good, nice guy.
He'll be here when you get back. Come on, come on, boy. Come on, let's go.
And I kind of look at the bottles and hand them back. Like I know what's up. I hand it back to the captain.
No, you cute. You're good, John. You cute. You got a long journey ahead and you need some fun. Because that elf thing doesn't look fun. Looks stabby.
Elf.
All right, I did.
It's okay, Wraith. People call me Tree.
Yeah, but you are a tree.
I am a noble being.
Well, yeah, but you're still a tree. You might be noble, but I'm not a thing. I'm an elf.
I am not a thing.
I didn't say you were a thing. I said you were a tree.
You did.
definitely did.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay. You look like a tree.
7 things has Urvis Axeless.
Oof. Sorry?
So I'm. Yeah.
Pardon? One moment we're having an argument, and then the next.
You have been pushed away from Ebonok's sight. He no longer sees the elf
That's all right. I live in the shadows anyway. That's fine.
I do have a feeling that at some point, as you are walking to the other ship, the elf might go back and just randomly kill the current captain.
Well, I'm kind of tempted.
You do have certain abilities that might allow nobody to notice you doing this. So, just kind of trying to point out that there are certain abilities on each of your character sheets as well. Remember. Look at your magic.
Yeah. So, yeah. I do. Yeah.
So,
I do want. No,
you have
okay.
just been also just ignored by the tree. So people are ignoring you now. You can. So,
Do whatever you want.
is anybody else going to be ignoring the elf at this point now? After the conversation with the tree or the Colonel Hunter?
There's a boat over there. Go on, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
I was already going.
Behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swiftly moving on. Sorry, no. Yeah, so you get to the other boat, the Oculum, and the captain waves you on. There were you. He sees you. He's like looks towards Wraith. If you are there, are you there, Wraith?
I might be about a minute late, I guess.
Okay. Looks towards you, Seville, and goes, I thought you said he was about 7 foot tall.
What?
That's...
Actually, no. See, I actually said at least.
You would make a good merchant with that kind of language.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's the finest compliment. But also, I hope you don't mind not being inside Mr. Tree Thing, because, you know...
Tree and thing, there you go.
My name is Ebonok.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ebonok. Yes, you're not going to fit, unfortunately, in any of the cabin.
I'm aware that your vessels are not built for one of my proportions. I will
You can take
remain
many
on-
Duardin, but it's just we've never had I'm guessing you're a Sylvaneth.
You
I've
are
not yet
right.
made it to Gur myself.
It is home. I will remain near your mast.
Maybe it was one of your cousins. I'm sorry, that was a tasteless joke. It's spend too much time around these Duardin, you know how they are. Actually, we do have a Duardin here. Nice to meet you. You are one of the... I see you have got some Sky Whale vodka. Don't you be going giving that to my crew.
Would never think of it.
No, a Duardin sharing their alcohol is not a likely story. Yes, where is your elf friend?
I'm sure he'll be here shortly.
I'll come hurrying along with the... Did you leave one of the bottles with the captain?
I think there was maybe he had a little bit left in his bottle or something.
Okay.
He has an entire supply.
So, I'm going to do the deed. Can I put him over the side without anybody noticing?
You can do whatever you like to him, and nobody will probably notice.
Yeah, he deserves it. And a little word of devotion to Cain as I do it, and then shove him over the edge and take one of the bottles, bring it back for Irvis as a gift. So, sorry I'm late. I just went to get you one of these, Irvis.
Oh, cheers.
As I'm wiping my
Nope.
blade. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Surreptitiously, there's nothing to see here. Didn't do anything.
It's just
there
me
you
to
are.
myself. It's okay. Yeah.
Do come aboard. And as much as I would love to spend 2 days on a boat talking and having fun on a boat and describing lots of cool stuff. We've got about an hour left, so I'm going to quickly skip forwards in time. You've had this wonderfully pleasant, uneventful journey on a sky vessel. You have flown up the north, up north, and you start to arrive at Armada's Bane.
Seville and Wraith are recreating the Titanic scene. I'm flying, Wraith. I'm flying.
I wouldn't trust him to hold me up.
I'm more thinking Ebonok is holding up Urbis as Urbis has got his two bottles going, yay!
Like, I'm flying, Wraith. Oh, no, shit. I'm actually flying.
Oh, shit, don't do me!
It's falling with style, I think they call it.
Right. Okay. A bit of description of Armada's Bane as you travel towards it. So, as you travel towards Armada's Bane, you fly up rugged, rocky coastline. Tall cliffs and sharp, jagged rocks rise out of steaming hot water. There's a bit of lava in there as well, kind of a little bit like Seville's background there. It's a desolate place. There you can see scattered bones and carrion around. Not much seems to survive these shores. Kind of in the distance, you're starting to see the wrecks of the actual Batar Armada sticking out of the oceans as they are twisted and torn on the rocks, mass sticking out of water, hulls broken in half. At first, you could just kind of see a few smattering of broken ships around, and then as you kind of start to head further across, you're starting to see more. And above what you would guess is kind of like the central area where most of the ships are, there is a storm. It appears green and unnatural in the air. The captain comes to you and says, "This is as far as I can take you. Our storm is unnatural and the ships do not survive. I will drop you off here, and may luck be on your side." And he throws over a rope ladder over the side. And he drops you off nice and easily, and I'm not going to make you climb down a rope ladder. Especially a tree.
Yes.
Not sure that. And a drunk dwarf on a rope ladder, I'm not sure how well that's. Maybe he's just sweet. Whee!
Well,
Cool. Yeah, so you are now.
Carry on the adventure then.
You are now on a rugged, rocky coastline. You can see in the centre of kind of almost where you'd expect the centre to be. At the centre of the storm is kind of a swirling mass in the air. Underneath that, there is a large pile of ships, which the captain has pointed out to you. Most likely, the Pride of Heralthus lies within that pile of ships in the centre of the storm.
Does that storm come all the way to the ground? Is it like or is it a storm up in the
It's up in the sky. It is probably raining.
It's not like a giant hurricane thing that's actually touching the ground.
Yeah, there's blustery winds. It doesn't feel like any storm a storm should feel like. The wind, obviously, Akshai, so the winds are hot. There is a certain smell to the air that is unpleasant to the nose. And it's not a glowy green. It's not like the green that we're seeing on Ben's screen. It's more of a putrid green of rot. And as you look at the wood of the boats as well, the boats are obviously, the wood is starting to degrade in the waters. However, it's quite an odd, as you kind of start to walk up to the boats and you start to try and find a way to the centre. The wood of the boats is kind of half petrified and half rotten. So because of the heat within the atmosphere and the heat of the water, it's behaving funny with the wood. So you're seeing parts of wet rot surrounded by old petrified dried wood.
As part of my hunter talent, the sort of land that is touched by chaos, obviously with my background being what it is, I chose chaos tainted lands as my sort of area that I'm used to hunting and traveling through and things like that. I will be keeping like an active watch, fully expecting the rock god's servants or creatures, afflicted by its presence to sort of beset us, and sort of traveling just slightly ahead of the party, maybe 10 or so meters, just so that, because I can spot traps and things like that within chaos tainted lands like this.
Yep, cool. And Seville, you also are quite well aware of the unnatural nature of this crap that is floating around you. It is quite clearly magical in source, and it's not realm magic, so it's not one of the 8 realms that you recognise. It is diseased, it is unpleasant to you. You start to feel kind of greasy in the skin as the winds of magic start to permeate you in a way that only you are aware of because of your innate abilities. And yes, as you are kind of excuse me, as you are making your way forwards, you all start to hear skittering and scuttering in the wood and in some of the wrecks. You start to hear little kind of laughs of mischievous, fluey-ridden coffee laughs coming from the dark corners. You kind of hear these kind of noises and kind of squelchy as if things are moving slightly beyond your sight at the moment.
And it sounds like there's a lot of them and they're quite big, or does it sound like they're rat-sized kind of things?
They don't sound large. It sounds like there's probably, at the moment, you're probably hearing maybe 2 or 3 scuttles in a corner one way, and then suddenly like a maniacal, squelchy coffee sneeze.
Based on sort of what Ebonok's background is, sort of thing, can I sort of safely assume that these are Nurglings by chance?
You are probably... That's probably where your mind is thinking, with obviously the Sylvaneth and your knowledge of the great battle between Nurgle and Ariel and the Garden of Nurgle. You're probably well aware of what Nurgling is,
There are small demons around us. Be at awareness. And I'll sort of pull out the huge scythe from my back.
Quick game question. So I have these 2 runes. They have to be, it says when active. Is that something I have to do, or is that just by default they're active, or how does that work?
Basically just have to tell me that they're active.
All right, I'm definitely all right, so I heed his words, and I activate my rune of Iron Skin.
So just for everyone, the Rune of Iron Skin, obviously he's a Duardin, he is a Fire Slayer, he doesn't wear many clothes. Probably has an iron-looking loincloth, but the rune is embedded within his skin, creates his skin to become more metallic and gives him some armour.
Yeah, seeing Irvis prepare, I unstopper one of the bottles of my iron bark and just begin to sort of pour it over my shoulders, and as it sort of scales down, the bark that it touches takes on a rock-like appearance, thick and hard.
Yeah. Just on your other rune that you've got, you can have them all activated at once, but the other rune's great. Allows you to... it gives you rend 1, which allows you to ignore a point of armor.
All right, yeah, then I'm definitely both of them.
Yeah.
Setting them off.
Yeah, but does anybody else want to start prepping anything?
I will draw my sword. I'm assuming that my magic spells, I don't need to do any sort of pre-prep for any of those.
No. So as and when combat will happen, it's all initiative order. There is nothing in the magic that is kind of prep work. It's all
Right.
learn. As I say, you are playing hero level characters, so you have spent a long time already learning spells that you're going to use. So just don't cock it up. Is all your magic. Well, please do, because that could be really funny. As to, oh my god, we're being attacked, and oh my god, why is there a purple son of Shaggy's coming to eat me? Ah! What have you done? Right.
I try to decide if I want to cast anything yet, but
yeah. So a lot of your spells obviously only last
1 round.
Very short period of time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll probably prepare myself, but won't actually cast it.
Yeah.
But we'll looking at Ebonok, just be like, it's not until right now that I've ever considered having a realm of magic that wasn't Gur, and they sound truly like they need to be incinerated.
Fire is a cleansing act against such beings.
Truly. Unfortunately, that's not my forte.
Do not worry. It is mine.
did the tree just say it can fire? Can use fire?
No, the tree's realm of forte is cleansing these things.
Cleansing, okay. I just got a bit worried. It's like the tree's just going to start putting a stick into his leg and doing that. It's going to start firing his leg.
Now I'm on fire!
The flaming angry tree of death!
You're taught as a child when you're one of those tree things, don't play with fire. It's really dangerous.
There's actually an entire subsect of them in the old lore that are cursed to ever burn. They're just burning trees. It's awesome.
In Age of Sigmar, so some of the, because obviously there's all the different realms, each, depending on where you come from in the realms, you do tend to pick up aspects of the realms. So yeah, there are Sylvaneth Dryads and Kurnoth Hunters who will have an inner burning fire within them and things, or they'll be petrified, burnt out wood. The best one I kind of really like is there's the Oceanic Bone Reapers. So these are people who, unlike just being skeletons, they have bone shapers who take the bones of the dead and form them into things.
Nagash wanted a Stormcast. He was jealous.
They're basically undead Stormcast. And one of the groups that is in the rule books is they're made from people who have died in the realm of Akshai, and they have fire, literal fire within the bones. So you touch them, burned, because burny bones. Sidetrack. Cool. So you are making your way through. You're all preparing yourself. And what I'm going to say here is choose one of your spells. And when you cast that one spell, so it's going to be if it's the first spell that you cast, you can have advantage on it because you will have time to prep it while you're waiting for things. And I will obviously Wraith. I will give you advantage on one spell, and I'm going to tell you which spell that is because I think it will work this way. So this is you all preparing because you know that something's about to happen. What spell am I thinking of? I'm going to say Mirror Dance.
Okay.
You can use that. You can have advantage on that at some point, just because I like the idea that you can. You're a murder elf who doesn't really like people, so you can really mess with them. I'm not going to tell other people what Mirror Dance does.
Yeah.
And don't tell them what it does. So reaction as it goes off.
It's all right. Okay. Because there was a question I was going to ask, but it doesn't matter, so that's fine. Well, I'll ask it when it happens.
Yeah. Cool.
If it happens.
So we will get on with this then. You are moving forward through the wrecks, and you kind of climbing. as you kind of getting through, you are kind of getting wet feet. Most of the time, the water is warm. It's kind of unpleasantly warm, so you're kind of getting really. But every now and then, you do notice that some of the water is actually bubbling. Does anybody want to step in the bubbling water?
Having
Please
been to
step in the
Iceland and seen what bubbling water is like, no.
That might be wise to avoid that one. Vess, go and check out the bubbling water, mate.
I take that very literally, and it goes, sure thing, and heads straight into the bubbling water.
Irvis, the fire slayer, and knowing kind of and being used to hot things, is like, this is a bit hotter than that water. Oh, as he starts paddling in it in his bed. But yes, it's quite clearly very hot water. But I'm just like, feet. Obviously, the smell as well is starting to get to everybody as well as you were moving further, and you were really starting to rot and the disease that is in the area.
But this isn't the smell of
Any
Irves's
dead
feet
bodies?
cooking.
Sorry.
This isn't the smell of Irves's feet cooking.
It's probably cleaned Irvis's feet.
Yeah, keeping a real sort of sharp eye out for any sort of movement. I have fought these fetid little creatures before, and I know their ways and their wiles, so I'm keeping a real sharp eye out for it.
How about, would it be useful if I climb to the top of you and give you a second pair of eyes?
Someone was always going to climb the tree.
Yeah.
Do not touch the bones. And I will literally lift you up onto a shoulder to position yourself.
As you get onto Ebonok's shoulders and you start to scan the area better, you see what actually seems to be quite a clear and easy path to walk to the centre of this Armada's Bane. There are large flat expanses of decking, of ship decks out there. There are some interesting looking rocks that you could climb across. Some people might have difficulty with it, but your nimble elf self could certainly easily make it across there. And I'm going to guess you point you kind of. For some reason, I've now got Ratatouille in my head, where the rat starts to control, and Wraith is now trying to control Ebonok by either pulling bits or smacking him.
Pulling some twigs, like reins.
Oh! Use your words.
That way.
Yeah.
There's a really easy way. This way, guys.
Which means it is where the trap is.
Yeah.
As you start to move that way, and you end up on what is quite a large deck. It seems quite stable. You can hear from underneath all the gibbering and chittering and chattering and squelching noises, as if there is hundreds of things beneath you, and they start to appear from around the edges and the holes and the gaps within the planks. They start to climb over the remains of the wheel, and coming out of the doors or from behind the stairs, coming up over the rocks as this wave of small, pustulant, green, purpley, bruised looking critters swarm towards you. And we will start combat.
The welcoming party.
So, notes on combat. You all have an initiative, and you go in the order of highest to lowest initiative.
Okay.
And there is the way Rangers work on this is we work on the concept of zones. So very similar to a lot of the Free League stuff. You have a very free concept of zones. Each zone describes a specific area. So the deck is going to be one area. The wheelhouse will be an area. A rock is a zone. The stairs will be a zone. And we'll go. It allows you to kind of not end up 5 inches away from something and fail. So it's just move from zone to zone, and then you're in. And you can move freely within your zone. You get a move and an action and a free action. Free action is just kind of like your talky stuff, or spending a metal. I think some of Sabelle's spells. I've not put it on your sheet, but I think some of them can be upkept by a free action. So using your metal to do it. But cool. So we shall go through. There are at least, from what you can see, there's at least 30 of these Nurglings coming towards you from various directions. You are effectively surrounded by these things. So who has the highest initiative? What do people have as initiative?
3.
3.
Oh, Wraith. Oh, spell with a 5.
Yep. So, and I guess these things don't have very high initiative. I can tell you, they have initiative.
Ah, speedy little buggers.
Yeah. I will let Wraith decide whether he wants to act before or after they do. So we'll kind of fit that into the flow of the fight. So, Sabelle, how are you going to deal with this horde of pestilent, gribbly, blurginess coming towards you?
I mean, I'm aware that Ebonok warned me not to do this, but also I don't want them to come near me. So I'm going to attempt to cast Flock of Doom.
Cool.
Flock of Doom.
Flock of Doom!
You could just climb the tree and let the tree deal with them. We could just sit on top of the tree and he could like splat them all. Because you're tough, aren't you?
That is literally my plan. Like, I have cleave on this thing. I'm going to be cutting through these things.
Yeah, I probably should have told you about some of the rules about weapon traits. We'll come into that when you come to cleave. But yeah, okay, so Doom. This is a mind channeling roll. I'm looking at it now. You target one. So because of the way these things work, I'll let you target the zone that they're in. So you can pick a zone. You're literally surrounded in 360. So they all have. We'll say each zone has 7 Nurglings in. Because is 7 the Nurgle number? No, that's the inch. 8. They all have 8 in because they all have a magic number. So 8 Nurglings. And there are going to be 4 zones that they are coming from. Front, back, sides.
I'll aim for the front one initially.
Yeah, it's a difficulty 5-3, so you need 3 5s. And you are rolling mind channeling. You should have focus in this as well. So.
Yeah.
Let's watch them get popped.
Oh, terrible roll.
Remember, you have advantage, so you get +1 dice as well.
I don't think it will help. It worked. No, I got 1 6 and 2 4s, so I didn't manage.
You got 1 6 and 2 4s. You have 1. Oh, okay. I completely forgot. We should have about this. You have some. You obviously have your metal, which you can spend. You should really say beforehand, but I will let you say now. Your metal you can spend to increase your focus by 1, or you can increase your training by 1, and some other things. But what you can do here is you can increase your focus by 1, so it gives you 2 focus. So those 2 4s that you've rolled, you can increase each of them by 1, which gives you a 6, a 5, and a 5.
Then I will do that.
Because you know what's nice? Succeeding.
Yeah, not doing the first thing in this round and being like,
I'm going to put some birds there. No, I'm going to put a purple son of Shaiish there because I miscast. Yeah, you don't want to fail your spell rolls. Because if you fail, you automatically have to roll on the miscast table.
No pressure.
No pressure. No, you see, the game is designed so you don't have to. You should be able to somehow pass in a way that is not going to be too bad. So you have managed to succeed.
Yep.
Flock of Doom.
So I will, using my staff, point the staff in the direction I want to send them off in, and down the side of my robe is an arrow rune, and that follows down the length of the staff, and then the bird at the end of it.
Nice. It descends on the targets, dealing 1 damage. It would have done more damage if, so there's a thing called overcast. So if you'd have rolled more successes than you needed, that would have done additional damage. So you fire the birds, and the birds fly straight out of the staff towards the squiggling mass of Rubinos coming towards you, and it kills one of them straight out. It just kind of, the birds just kind of fly through the body, and it's kind of explodes. As it dies, it does kind of seem to explode a little bit, and there seems to be a miasma and cloud of pus erupt from it. And there's a certain smell that suddenly starts to really permeate the air, like rotten feet. Ooh, okay, so that is that. Yeah, and so Wraith, do you want to go before or after the Nurglings?
I think I'll go
These
after.
things are at medium range as well, so.
Yeah. I don't really have a ranged attack I can use. Well, I've got a spell, haven't I? So are any of my spells like Arcane Bolt? Is that area of effect, or is that just one target?
No, Arcane Bolt will hit 1. You'd need Arcane
Yeah.
Lightning, I think, to...
Okay. And then just the spell that we talked about a moment ago that I've got the advantage for. Does it matter whether the victim agrees or not?
You need to do it.
Yeah, okay.
You're all. I'm just going to say, for the moment, that one, you are all still in the same zone in the same area. You're not spread out yet.
Right.
But
Okay,
what you
that's
can
cool.
do is, again, you can use your metal to do an extra action. So you could maybe save that till the end. So run,
Okay, no, I'll save
stab,
that for now.
magic.
I will use. I'll do an
Ben's looking
arcane.
very worried at what I'm saying here.
I'll do an arcane bolt at the against the front ones again to go along with Savel's attack.
The tree's not worried. Tree's not absolutely not worried. He's not seen all his friends die to these things. No, honest, go.
So that'll be mind and channeling. Is that right?
Mind plus channeling.
Which is
And it's
5.
a difficulty number of 4-1, because I don't know if you put Arcane Bolt on the rules.
Yes, you
for-
did. Yeah, yeah.
It's 4-1, does 1 damage.
And I've got 5 dice. Okay, that gives me 2 successes.
Cool, so that does actually 2 damage. Do you have any focus in channeling?
Doesn't look like it, no.
Okay. So yeah, you do two more damage, so there are now 5 left in that group, and 2 more of them just kind of, as you cast the bolt of, I'm going to say it's probably shadowy, dark looking light bolt at them.
Can I just check on the character sheet then?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, it's my mistake. I do have 1 focus in channeling. Yep.
Okay, so if you have something which, if you have rolled a 3, you can turn it into a 4.
No, they were all 2s. Sadly.
Unfortunately, no. So yeah, you can you managed to explode 2 of them with your dark lightning bolt thing that you cast at them. It is now their go.
So can I just one more question, David? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
My metal. Do I get that? Does that get recharged every round? So I might as well spend
1 point gets recharged every round, so you might as well use it. So you can have a free action.
And I can cast Arcane Bolt again, can I?
Yep.
Yep. So I'll use my metal, and then I'll cast Arcane Bolt again at the same group.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Go for it.
That sounds okay. Okay, this time I get 3 successes, and I get a 3 and a 2. So with my focus, I can use that again. That becomes a 4, so I get 4 successes.
Wow. You just squishified 4 of them. So there's now one Nurgling running towards you, wondering, where the bloody hell have my mates gone? What's this bloody murder elf doing thing?
Yeah, Pazam!
It's not stabbing things, this is confusing me.
I don't like the idea of getting too close to them, you see, so I think... sitting up here is very sensible.
Yeah, okay. So it is now their go. They are all going to run towards you all. I'll do the remaining one first, because it's simple. He's going to run towards Murder Elf, because Murder Elf just murdered all his friends.
I am sat on top of the tree at the moment.
Oh, you are sat on top of the tree. Okay, so he's going to attack
13 feet
Ebonok.
in the air. Yeah.
Going to attack Ebonok because it tries to climb. It's going to try and climb Ebonok and attack in that kind of sense.
Doesn't realise you're not really you're not a normal tree.
Yeah. So Ebonok, what is your defense? So,
My armor is 3.
no, your defense. So the shield. What good for
Average.
Average.
average? Cool. Okay. Well, this thing is probably not going to hurt you. There's only one of them. Oh, I get 1.
Okay.
What's your armor?
3.
3.
Yeah, because of my Iron Bark potion raises my armor by 1 for an entire day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, like,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it doesn't do any damage to you. It has 1 plus S, so I get 2 damage. It doesn't break through your armor. It's just kind of it's just ran forward and slammed into your leg, and it's gonna ow. You just kind of hear it, kind of splat as it lands on the floor.
Yeah.
One of the groups, however, is also going to charge this because why not? Let's get the dwarf involved. These are working as what we call a swarm. So in the book, they can be individuals or they can act as a swarm if there are over 3 of them in a group. And as there are 8 of them, it basically creates 1 attack rather than 8 individual attacks. So this might seem like a lot, but it's just. So it's going to be 8 attacks. What is your defense, so your shield?
Good.
Good. Okay. Okay. This is. They're probably not going to do much against you. These things are small and squishy, so. Wow. Yeah. They're all 8 of them are missed. One thing you'll learn very quickly is I can't roll dice. Whether I'm being the GM or a player, I will fluff every dice roll. So yeah, they all run towards Irvis, and Irvis is just enjoying his drink or being a worthy dervish, and they just kind of stop in front of you and they're like, do we want to? Do we? Don't we? And they just kind of warm around you and form a circle around you and start singing, dancing, and chanting instead of attacking.
That's worse.
They're confused. The other group, so there's another 2 groups. One is going to go for Ebonok again.
Yeah.
You're a Sylvaneth, and therefore you are the enemy.
Ancient hatreds are renewed.
Yep. I don't get. I do hit you. They do hit you again. They just kind of run straight into you.
Iron Bark.
And it splat against you. I got 3 damage that time, so I got your armor. They can't unfortunately attack Wraith, so the only other one they can attack is unfortunately the squishy one. The squishy one is going to get squished by squishy things.
Obviously, this is theatre of the mind and things like that. I don't know how, if there even are in the system reactions to them sort of trying to get past me to get to Savell, because if that is the case, I would try to interpose or anything like that.
Fortunately, not within this, no. And the way that it's coming, because they're coming from all directions.
Yeah.
You won't be able to stop them. So
can't block them all.
being swarmed.
Savell, what is your defense? So your shield. Is it average?
Yeah.
I rolled a grand total of 4 1s, 2 2s, a 3, and a 4. I needed a 5 to hit.
Yeah, I was going to say one step lower than, yeah. Oh, wow.
So these nurglings are the worst things in the world at doing anything. They are too busy enjoying dancing around, singing and chanting and gribbling and gurgling.
Generally
and
being gross.
Yeah, I'm probably worried about Murder Elf, who they can't get to, who keeps killing them. So next up...
Just wait till the others start swinging, I think.
Yeah, I know. I think it's actually Irvis next, isn't it?
Irvis and Ebinock are on the same one, so I'm fine for him to go first, yeah.
Yeah, so, Irvis, do you want to start swinging?
Yeah, I'm surrounded, right? So I'm just gonna whip out those axes and just spinning in a circle, swing wildly.
Cool. So I think I gave you 2 axes, which allows you to attack 2.
Yeah.
But it's one target. So
Yeah.
it's going to be the number your dice pool straight as is.
Okay.
If we ever come to a point where you can split your attacks, I'll explain it. But basically, you get your body plus your weapon skill.
Okay.
There as well. So
Okay. So my body is 4, my weapon skill is 2, so 6 dice.
Yep. What is your so on the sheet you've got the hammer, so your melee, what's that rating?
My melee is good.
Cool. You are hitting them on 2s.
All right. So 6 dice
really,
on
really
2s.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're also kind of small as well, so you actually.
All right. So that's 3 4s, a 5, and 2 1s. So that's 4 hits.
You will. I think you've got focus in weapon skill.
Yes, I've got 2 focus in the weapon skill.
Two
and there's
focus.
2 focus in the weapon skill, and there's a 2 marked under focus next to my battle axe, and then I have 2 focus stars filled in next to weapon skill.
Jesus. Okay. Yes, you do have 2 focus. Okay, so those 2 1s you can turn into 2s if you want to.
All right, so
6 damage.
Yeah, it's a 6 damage.
This reminds
Right,
me of...
look now look at the damage thing. It says 1 plus S, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that means you do 7 damage.
This reminds me
And
of
it's
Serenity
rending
with River
damage,
Town.
but that doesn't matter, right?
Rending, they don't have any armor. These things are
Yeah.
squishy. So yeah, this just turns around and goes, well, you can't hit me. This is how you do the hitting, and you just cleave 7 of them into pieces. Unfortunately, because they are basically disease-ridden little pustule sacs, as you cleave through them, they do explode. And when a nurgling dies, it erupts in a spray of thick mucus and noxious spores. Pleasant. You are now dirty. You suffer 1 damage, which ignores armor, and you must make a difficulty 4-1 body fortitude test or become poisoned. So everybody, you are in close range, you are in the same zone as these things dying. You're
All of us.
damage,
Okay.
so knock 1 off your toughness, and everybody needs to make a difficulty 4-1 body fortitude test, or you are going to become poisoned.
Body fortitude. Yep, I get 2 4s.
Cool.
A body fortitude?
Yes.
Oh no. What do I have to roll?
You've got 1 dice, you need to roll a 4.
Need at least 1 4. Yes, I got 5 and a 6.
Cool.
A 5 and a 4. And
I
yeah,
got
so
a 5
Is that on 1 die, is it?
on my 1 die.
Now, technically, you need to do this another 6 times. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I'm not going to be that mean. I'm going to take 1 per nurgling killed, 1 point of damage per nurgling killed, but that would also kill you all. So I'm not
Yeah, we're all dead.
going to
about
party
to
wipe
say,
straight out. By killing them, they've killed you.
That was a fun game. Thanks, Dave.
Yes, well done. I told you there would be death.
4 more are added to the ship's toll. Right, okay, so I have cleave. How does cleave work, sir?
Cleave is not going to do anything.
Great. Okay.
A lot of the weapon traits involve you having talents that relate to the weapons trait. So if you had a talent that relates to cleave would allow you to cause more damage.
Sweet.
Cleave against these things?
Well, I have pool of 6, focus 1, and I got a 6, 2 5s, 2 4s, and a 1. So that's going to be 7 damage.
Yes, they have poor armor. You're probably hitting on what?
I'm on the same as Irvis.
Yeah, so
I'm
you
on
can,
good,
you can turn the 1 into a 2, which
will
7.
make it 7 hits.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess you're going to go on the group that are around you.
Yep. I'll leave the one that is just 1 off and focus on the 7 so I can get as much murder as possible.
Yeah, so again, everybody is going to take 1 point of damage and have a body fortitude roll. Again, each time they die.
Yeah, I'm sorted. 2 5s.
3, 3, and a 1.
Wraith, you are going to be poisoned.
Not good, is it?
Let's just see what poison does to you. Poisoned, that's condition, poisoned. Creature's dice pool is reduced by 1 for all tests.
Okay.
Oof.
How long is that going to last?
Probably until you cure yourself.
Okay.
Forever. And
Still, you need to make yourself another 1 dice roll, not roll a 1, 2, or 3.
So talking to me?
50. Everyone does. Everyone needs to make it.
Everyone needs to do this because you're all in the same. You're all in the same zone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, but I rolled it already. Sorry, I just didn't say anything. So I got a 5, so I'm good.
Cool. I'm not liking the look on your face there.
Oh, Savel.
Is this pre-roll or post-roll?
Oh no!
Oh no, you two are
Post-roll.
poisoned. So you are losing 1 dice on all your tests.
Both pools. Okay.
Wonderful smell and the icky.
Including the body one, because if I lose one.
No, you will always be rolling 1 dice. You'll always be rolling 1 dice.
Presumably, I lose 1 there though, so my body roll will be 2 dice from now on instead of 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But there are now only, I think, 3 Nurglings left.
There's 1 on me, and then 2 other swarms that were.
Yeah. So there's another. There's 2 left.
Yeah.
Cool. And we go back to the top. So Seville.
Cool. You said I.
Seville
so
ran away, buggered.
Go on. So
You can move away, obviously.
you can do 2 arcane bolts. Was that?
Yep. So
Oh.
so everybody's
Using metal.
You get-
Yeah.
you regain 1 metal.
Mhm.
You can move. You can then cast Arcane Bolt. You can use your metal to cast Arcane Bolt again.
Oh,
Right.
can metal be used to make attacks or just spells?
It can be used
In
for
which case,
attacks.
then I could use my metal to do another attack.
Yep.
In which case,
You'd
then I
only
will
be hitting 1 of the swarms though, so you'd only be killing 1. Because then,
There's a swarm with just 1 left that's in front of me, though.
yeah.
So I will do that as well. Sorry.
I'm not going to make you roll. I'm not going to make you roll for this because that is quite clearly going to happen. You're hitting on 2s. You need to kill
Yeah.
1 of them, and you're rolling 6 dice.
Yep, 6 dice.
And you've got to focus, so 1 of those is going to go through. And I'm
Yeah.
roll again for the
So,
42
yeah,
stuff. because
yeah.
that's gonna take too long. Cool. Yeah. So there are now 2 left.
Okay.
Arcane Bolt. Arcane Bolt.
Hopefully, as long as I'm not within like gross distance. Am I out of
So
gross
yeah,
distance?
so you can move zone.
Yeah.
So kind of maybe stand on a rock or something, run away. Right,
Yeah.
so Robin ran away, you buggered off.
Yeah, I
Zapped everything,
yeah, I need to not be covered in snot.
pretty much. Cool. All right. So channeling test, a Arcane Bolt is 4-1, I think. Yeah, 4-1. I don't think it's on your sheet. I can't remember.
It doesn't say on my sheet now.
So yeah, it's 4-1. It targets 1 thing. Any extra successes cause more damage. But there are 2 separate swarms left, so just 2 left. And it's
That's a 6 and 2 4s.
6 and 2 4s. That is 1 which goes pop. Now, because you have moved away, you don't have to do this. But I'm going to make it once you've cast the next one.
Okay.
So zap and
Zap.
2 6s.
Zap, 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 zap. And so these two last ones just kind of go pop, pop, in a cloud of bleh.
Lightning, mother.
That's a lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Pop, pop, pop.
When in doubt.
I'm going to just say, can you, Ebonok and Urves, just make me body fortitude rolls. See if you get poisoned.
Pair of 5s and a 4.
Fine. I got a 6, 2 1s, and a 2.
Yeah, you're fine. Because Wraith is already poisoned, I'm not going to make you roll for that. Let's get out of here. Cool. They are all dead.
How do we cure poison?
Boat is now very sticky.
The 2 people that are poisoned, I will give some of the herbs that I went and collected that get rid of poisons that I was going to give to the captain.
You wanted to stop him from being hungover. Hangover cure.
Not necessarily.
It might work, I don't know.
We can try it.
Try
Let's
it.
do a mind medicine roll. Difficulty 6-2.
Okay, mind medicine.
He doesn't want us to get better, does he?
He really does not. But
I just find
one
it
thing
amusing.
that Dave's about to find out is that I am very lucky with dice. So I will take 2 6s and a 5 on 3 dice.
Good man.
Right. How do we remove people from a scene? So now all the Nurglings are dead. All that pus starts to coalesce, and boom, there's a rare demon and Nurgle in front of you. No, that doesn't happen. Sorry,
Does that take away the poison effect?
that will take away the poison effect.
Yeah.
So whatever concoction Ebonok managed to make out of the trees, tastes slightly sweet and pleasant. Got the smell of lavender, clears the air a bit.
I do not have any more to do this again.
You don't. That's not happening.
But it should work.
And again,
Ebonok, I won't call you a tree for the rest of the day for that. Thank you. Or a thing. Or a tree thing.
right. Again, I'm conscious of the time here, so I'm going to speed things up a little bit, and we'll get to the point where I thought we would get to. So we're not going to get to finish this, but as I say, if we are enjoying it and want to, we can continue it on another stream. If not,
Happily.
Definitely, yeah.
left in a suspenseful moment for everybody to wonder for all eternity. What? The tree. Cool. Okay. Anyway, you spend a couple more hours walking through, occasionally batting away a Nurgling that tries to come towards you in an irritating kind of way, and they kind of fly quite well. They go meow over the side. Urvis and Ebonok start counting as they're playing golf with side of boats and things.
The trick is to get them into a magma stream because they do make a very nice noise in them.
Poor little things. All they want to do is hug you.
That's all
You just
any demon wants to
murderise
do. Slanesh wants to hug you. Korn wants to hug you. Everyone wants to hug you. They just want to hug
Korn
you
wants
in
to hug
different
your
ways.
head. Slanesh is going to hug you with spikes. Zench just hug your mind and squeak.
Yeah, exactly.
And Nurgle is just going to lick you. He's gonna hug you and lick you. Anyway, as you get closer to the centre of the storm, you begin to hear growls and growls and noises as if something large is within the centre, this kind of central bastion of destroyed ships. Maybe it kind of looks like something has actually been clawing and pulling the ships into almost like a den of sorts, and it is vast, it is huge. You see these big raking claw marks down the side of the ships, and they look relatively new. Some of these, they're not old wounds. You can tell where they were wrecked against the rocks and those kind of things, but these are quite clearly recent additions and you can hear a rumbling from within this wrecked den or hide of ships as they've been pulled together.
Can I ask, just how do we restore toughness?
Rest.
Is it just rest or
Rest. I will let you all take 1 toughness back because it's taken you a couple of walking to get to where you are now.
cool? Just thinking, if we could have a fight, the more toughness we've got, the better, really.
Find the thing that I need to make you fight. Cool. You can hear kind of like the breathing, like within the thing. You can hear this kind of heavy breathing. It's kind of it sounds mucousy. It sounds heavily wheezed and breathy. It's just like this massive thing is breathing that you can't see.
Can we get a sense of where it is? And is there somewhere near it I think I might be able to kind of conceal myself?
There's
the-
quite a
ahead
lot
of the
of
group.
things around that you can hide behind. There's lots of wrecks and rocks and other bits that you can hide around. It is quite clearly there is something within this amalgamation of ships within front of you.
Using
If I hide somewhere and you draw it towards you, I can then get it from behind.
I was about to say, using my sort of hunter, I can find, trap and or hunt creatures with advantage, especially within my sort of chaos tainted preference land. Can I sort of hunt, casting back to that time of fighting Nurgle in the sort of feculent gardens of his plane? Can I sort of track down this creature, whatever it might be, or know?
It's
roughly
very,
where
very
it is?
obvious it's in this.
Yeah.
It's like a cave made out of ships, and there's a big entranceway in the cave.
Mhm.
It's very clear where it is.
Yeah.
Where it is.
Okay, I'm going to try and sneak up and get into a position hidden ahead of the group. But so if we attract it out, I can then get behind it.
Yeah, I'll say you've managed to do that. It's not going to be a roll. It's going to everyone's going to position themselves, get themselves ready
Yeah.
in certain.
If everyone does that, Savell, you sort of get to one side, Ebonok will sort of like nod at Urves and begin to head in to the thing in order to try and basically run out with this thing chasing him. Yeah.
Hello, anybody there?
I am here.
Well, are you going to go in with them, or are you going to go in first, or are you?
I'm going to go in first.
Run the fuck away.
And yeah, I'm going to go in and try and drag.
Just
this
wait
thing
1
out.
second, Ben. Seville, where are you? Where are you?
I want to keep within casting distance of Urvis and Ebonok.
Yep. So you'll hang behind them a little bit, but obviously not run into the cave where this big scary beast thing is.
Yeah.
On
I
two
was
nunchucks.
also wanting. Sorry, I was also wanting to check if I could see anything standing out to me with witch sight.
So, the witch site is behaving weird around here. There's obviously the usual permutations of magic within the realm and realm magics, and there is obviously a Nurgle taint to the air, but there doesn't seem to be any magic within the cave itself. There seems to be no source of magic within there. However, there is you are aware that there is a massive taint of chaos within it, which is a little bit confusing because why is there chaos but no magic or chaos?
Magic, yeah.
And I know what you're thinking, and I'm with your magic, and I will let you cast that before they go in.
Okay.
And I will say
DM's
you
reading my
can
mind.
keep it up for a little bit, but as soon as combat starts, then we'll have to kind of take into that upkeep idea of that spell.
Okay.
So, I'm going to make you roll to cast it though.
Yeah.
Because in theory, she's going to help you.
In theory.
In theory. Okay.
The other theory is she casts something really nasty and it just kills all of you.
You guys thought I was on your side.
Secretly, I am the Chaos Sorcerer behind all of this. So, channeling mind, don't have the rules up for the spell.
So I need to get
Is it
6-1.
5-2? 6-1. 6-1. No.
I need to get 6-1, and I've got 2 6s.
Cool. And so that
Nice.
it kind of allows it to go off for a little bit longer.
So yeah, they've now
Is it Pac
both
Hunter?
got Pack Hunter, which means you've got melee up 1 step and +1 damage.
Both of you. You will both become Pack Hunters. She has
Does that
given
apply
you.
to all three of us, or is it just the two of
It's
them?
just those two.
Those
As they are
two.
moving
You can see
into
them.
the thing. So yes, you
I like
step on your
you.
melee, and you cause an extra point of damage each time you hit. So,
Thank you.
it is an upkeep spell. Kind of the term is upkeep. It has a duration, and she can use her metal each turn to
Extend it.
keep it going. So you won't get to shoot lightning bolts twice.
Yep.
But yeah, so what we'll do is we will kind of do a kind of surprise round combat here. Ebonok and Ernest, you walk up to this cave entrance, and within inside it you see glowing deep red eyes. The smell of rot is permeating the air. You see leathery wings. You see claws, and you see.
Oh, we were wrong. It's Nurgle.
Giant.
It's not Nurgle. It's Corn.
Oh, it's very, very much a pestilent, diseased-ridden, and it sniffs the air as it senses you coming in. And Ebonok and Irvis, you do recognise what this creature used to be. It is what is known as a Maw Crusher, but has been tainted by Nurgle itself, as it has spent too long in Armada's Bane. Now, a Maw Crusher, for those of you who are not aware of the universe, is a big ass wyvern, basically, that orcs generally run around flying on and like to treat as pets. They are huge, and they are muscly, and they are big, and they are strong, and they are scary ass motherfuckers. So yeah, but this one has obviously been tainted by Nurgle. You have also it is kind of, it's sniffing the air, but it hasn't found you yet. So I'm going to give Ebonok and Irvis a bonus round of combat first before it wakes up and realizes that, oh my god, there are things hitting it.
It's not
Let's
a
go
very
first,
clever beast then.
Not really, no.
It would be if its mind hadn't been rotted away by a giant fungus.
Yeah, there's a massive mushroom coming out of its head.
Yeah. Cordyceps
Out
of
of his ears
the Age of
as
Sigmar.
So wouldn't we all, hey?
Yeah. Would you like to go first then, Irvis?
Sure thing. I'm tempted to use my battle rage to just really get that first hit. So that's a free action. So can I do that before I attack?
Yes, you can do your battle race before you attack. You can also charge.
Okay.
Well, so there are obviously multiple action things that you can do. This you can charge, which gives you, I think, +1 as well. So it gives you advantage. Let's have a quick look at me actions. Charge +1d6 for the attack. Defense is reduced. So unfortunately, you can charge. It will give you an extra dice on the attack, but it will reduce your defense by 1 step.
Okay.
Round of combat.
So I think I will use battle rage and decrease my defense by 1.
Yep.
And then increase my melee by 1 as well. So now I'm up to 1. So I'm great because of the spell, and super. So I'm up to superb. And then I'm also going to charge. So my defense is now poor, but I have superb, and I get an extra die, right?
Yes.
You're gonna one-shot this guy.
I really
Let's
hope
do
not.
this.
And yeah, you've got +1 on the damage as well, so don't worry about that.
All right. So this is weapon skill for the number of dice, right?
Yeah, so body weapon skill +1. So there's that 7.
Okay. So yeah, that should be 7. And then so the bonus from the spell is it melee and then
Yeah, your melee goes up to superb. This thing has good defense, but because you are now superb, you're still hitting it on toes. Because you're 2 levels above its defense.
all right. And I can use my so that's so I've gotten 2 6s, 2 5s, a 3, a 2, and a 1.
And you can use your focus to turn that 1 into a 2.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So that's
So that is done.
7 hits.
7 hits plus 1 for your normal damage and plus another 1 for the spell. So you have just done 9 points of damage to this thing. It might you haven't one-shotted it, but you run forward and you cleave into him, and you notice that the rot and things of Nurgle have softened it somewhat, so that you are used to fighting, and your axe just kind of buries into its shoulder, its wing, and your hand just kind of starts to covered in green ooze, and it lets out an almighty bellow, and it's that side that you've lodged your action just kind of flops to the ground and it starts flopping around. You have methods, so you can attack again if you want to.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea, guys.
Yep. I
Support
totally
this
agree.
action.
Go
All
to
right.
town.
Go down.
I've looked at it. You can't one-shot this, so you are not going to kill it.
That would be somewhat spoil the fun. So, all right. So I don't have to charge anymore, right? So I don't get the extra attack. Okay. So it's just all right. So it's just 6.
So you're going to do
Only
8
6.
damage.
All right. Oh, okay. So that's 2 6s, 2 4s, and 2 5s.
Yeah, so you do another 8 damage to the thing. Is your other so one axe has come in and kind of made it limp on one side. The other one comes in, actually hacks off the arm with the wing on it, and it's oozing yellow pus and green and red fluid stuff out.
Nice.
There's an almighty stench of just the most rotten thing you've ever experienced in your life starts to come out of it, and it is.
I'm assuming I'm covered in like goo.
Yeah.
And blood.
You're effectively green now as well. I think someone's going to throw you into the water after this for a bit of a bath. It is in monumental agony now. The Maw Crusher. It is.
Which means it's happy.
It is not very happy, but unfortunately, Ebonok, you also get to attack at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm now. I get +1, which is going to give me 7 dice. I'm on great because of the spell.
You're hitting on 3s.
I'm hitting on 3s, and the charge isn't something that I can do because that was his power.
You can charge, but you can't do the battle rage that.
Yeah, but the charge doesn't give me actually any. Was it the charge that boosted him up to superb? I thought that was his.
No, that's his battle rage that did.
Yeah.
If you charge, you get +1 dice, but your defense comes down by 1 level.
Oh, go on then.
You're going to kill him anyway, I think, at this rate.
That's going to be 8 dice then, hitting on 3 pluses with focus 1. Okay, 2 6s, 2 5s, 2 3s, a 2, and I'll bump. In fact, no, so that's 3 6s. The bone dice was 3 6s. So 3 6s, 2 5s, 2 2s, and a 1. I'll boost one of the. I'll boost one of the ones but I'll boost the 2 to a 3. So
I'm smoking a cigarillo while these guys are doing my job for me.
You're just waiting for something to happen. Somebody's going to come out at some point. There's something.
Oh, well, it will die.
Don't need me to do anything.
So you've got +2. You've got your successors +2. So how many successors did you get?
3, 5, 5. So that's 5 there. A 3, which is another success. So that's 6 there. A 2, which I turn into a 3 with my focus. That's 7 successes. So sum total, that's going to be 8 damage.
8 damage. You've got +1 because of the spell.
Oh, it's +1 to that as well. So 9 damage on that hit then. And I missed with one of the attacks.
Noob.
He really should have allowed you to sneak up on this bastard.
Yeah.
What's his initiative? Oh, he would have managed. His initiative is 1 anyway, so.
How
okay,
many
so
times?
I'm going to do the whole critical role thing. How do you want to do this?
No
Oh,
way.
nice! I didn't even spend my metal. I was getting ready to spend my metal there to. So as sort of
This is
Urbis
disgusting.
carves off like a wing, and it sort of slumps to one side, unable to support that side of its body, exposing its long, sort of sinuous drake neck. Ebonok sort of runs, and Ebonok is a stout, sort of broad-chested sort of tree, but the way he moves is fluid and sinuous. It's the way that willow bends with wind. And
dancing.
leaping off some of these sort of rubble and rocks, he sort of runs up, raising back this huge, great scythe, and just carves clean through the neck of the beast, decapitating it in a blow.
Yeah, and
I'm going to step out and just say, you were supposed to bring it out so I could stab it. What the hell are you doing? That wasn't the plan.
Seville just has part eyes for this whole, like, that whole maneuver. It's just like,
We call that one.
yeah, okay. We only have 10 minutes left. We're going to call it there. You've not yet found the Conflagration Jewel of Hanan, but you have killed a big-ass beastie.
yeah.
Now, I hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah, great fun.
Certainly
Yeah,
some,
really
Wonderful
good.
very-
session.
That was great.
Great way to spend DragonCon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
enjoyed running that. That was brilliant. Some of the interactions between the characters there was well played, everyone.
I now have to go and kit bash together an Ebonok the Grave Walker, because I now have to do this. This has to be my next army now.
Yeah.
I may or may not be currently creating a Sylvaneth warband
Oh, nice.
off. I don't know if you know the band, but Halung, who are a neo-folk band.
I love Halo.
Yeah, so I'm creating a Sylvaneth-esque,
That's awesome.
That's
wealthy
badass.
kind of force based off that kind of look.
That's so cool.
My current work is that I am doing I have a Gits army that are all riders. All of them are on squigs, even the casters I've customized.
Boing, 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 boing,
But
boing.
I'm doing a clanker squig army, which is a very obscure one where basically the Gloom Spite wiped out some Kahadron overlords and started messing around with it. So all my squigs are half bionic. I've got a Kahadron gunship hauler that I've kit bashed and mashed together to make a Gits version of it. So it's Gits that have nicked all Kahadron stuff.
Is it? Question. Does it have a squig as the bulbous thing?
It doesn't have a
Instagram.
squig as the balloon. It has instead of the dwarven face that all the ships have, I've kit bashed together a massive crooked moon on the front of the ship. But all the
I think I follow you on Instagram. I think I've seen these. If you put
no,
them on
I
Instagram.
don't have them on Instagram. I need to
Okay.
actually. I was trying to get them together for marching armies. I managed to get the first one together. I didn't manage to get the Clanker Squig one because it was a little tiny lore piece that they did in one of the White Dwarves. And I was like, I love that. I am going to make that army.
That's so cute.
No, but yeah, cool. So as you see, the world is because it's so the realms are infinite. You can do so much within
Yeah.
the realms. You don't have to follow that stereotypical D&D fantasy or
It's
that
also
old
really nice
old
to-
world Warhammer fantasy thing.
Yeah, it's
You can
really
go
nice to
completely
feel
off.
like a badass and feel big and powerful in a game from the offset.
It's like you saw that. It's like that's these are all starting level characters. We've not spent any extra XP on these characters, and they are just.
Pretty tough.
You didn't get to see what the murder elf could do because there was no chance.
Yeah, I did it off screen, didn't I? So-
You threw someone over the side of a boat.
I did stab him first, but
Well, you made sure to stab him. You've got to get the blood, and the blood
yeah, exactly,
in his wonderful arc as he flew.
yeah.
Just looked like the face of Cain.
Aw.
Yeah, cool. So we'll just very, very quickly, final thoughts on the game before we wrap up the stream.
Yeah,
It's great
fairly straightforward once you've got the gist of it.
fun.
I'm a massive fan of handfuls of dice as well. That's really, really pleasing.
Yeah. Me and Chris do talk about bell curves, and actually the more dice you roll, the better it is for you, rather than you've got a single number on a single dice ticket.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like the ore system so much. One of my favourite games is Godlike, which is superhero role-playing in 1940s World War. And it's one of my favourite games. And it's one of the first games that I ever ran as a GM, and it's one of the first games that I ever sort of really fell in love with. And this has that feeling, a real handful of dice for a powerful character, and you feel like the challenge is clearly there. Things that just eat through toughness, or if that thing had got an attack, I imagine that would have been very, very nasty. To actually,
I was worried when you charged in and you were just like, let's charge it, let's just remove our entire defense. All of us was probably gonna
could have almost
really poor defense.
Yeah.
This thing has a great attack, so it was hitting you on twos.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels, it has that nice flow of power but risk. So that you're not just cakewalking the universe. At some point, there are more things that are going to be nasty to you and things like that. It's nice and tight in that regard. So yeah, very positive. I like the combat system. I like sort of it being a very simple workout. What am I looking for? That's always nice. All told, a really lovely, nice, tight game, and that's one of the best things you can have in a current world where a lot of role-playing systems mistake bloat for quality, as in big thick books that are so full of stuff and ideas. They forget that you need something simple to hold on your entire game around, and that's clearly what's here.
I think when I first
it's not a big fat rule book. It's 300 and something odd pages, so it's not like your usual 400 odd book. And the rule section of the book is only about 20 pages.
Yeah, I'd say it feels like a lot of that would be lore and magic spells and talents rather than rules, which is nice.
It's a really nice rule book. I do recommend people look into it. I may be slightly biased because I have written for the game.
Fair enough.
I've done a bit.
When I first looked at it, and we were talking about it before the show, I thought, there's quite a lot of things here. Adding on metal, adding on the soul power, which you didn't use.
We never used any of our soul fire.
But actually, when it came to having the combat, that was all really quite intuitive and easy to do, and it made for a nice, quick, fast-paced combat system, which is really good.
Yeah, it's certainly when you read it, it sounds complicated, and when you try to explain it, it sounds complicated. When you get going, it is very intuitive. It's very, very quick.
Yeah,
and it's a game as well that I know we've kind of pitched it probably more an adult audience here with some of the grouply nature of what we were doing, but such a simple system, you can quite easily dumb that down and run it with kids.
Yeah.
Like, kids, here's a bunch of dice. You need to roll them, and you need to get these numbers. And giving kids a bunch of dice to roll is always it's much they enjoy that much better than a single D20 and getting a result on that. Give them loads of dice, they'll love it. Yeah, cool. So let's just do a quick wrap up of who everybody is and whether we can find you all again, because that was brilliant, and definitely want to I'd love to continue this story as you've only kind of got halfway through it. And
definitely up for finishing it
you're a
off.
bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
We'll start. We'll go the other way around. This time we'll start at the bottom and work around. So Ben.
Hi there. I've been Ben from Learn to Play Games. We're a YouTube channel that specialises in teaching you how to play the game in a fun and engaging way, and doing that with Kickstarters. We recently started doing more with RPGs, which is where I've come into it with people like Chris and David today. Thank you very much.
And next we have Ivo.
Hi, I'm Evo. I used to work for Kingdom Death. Now I kind of doing a bunch of different stuff. I have an Instagram account where I do some Warhammer stuff, Evil Evo minis. And then I'm working on a board game, digital board game aid called Deckify, which you can find on Twitter or Google.
Lou.
Hey Hi, I'm Blue. I play various tabletop RPGs. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram under Sanguis Blue. I've already put a link in the chat. And I'm on a couple of different streams, including this one right now, obviously, but also one on Twitch called Wandering Noobs.
And Dave.
Cool. So you can find our magazine podcast where we talk about mostly Free League games and Swedish gaming, but all sorts of different stuff as well at www.effectpodcast.org. Effect as spelt there with a K.
It's not on the screen. Unfortunately.
Effect with a K. Or we have a actual play channel, which is Effect, again with a K, ap.org. And we're currently playing our what was it? The playtest of Destroyer of Worlds, which is a unique scenario because it changed after that playtest. So you can find us there. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We have a Monday night Coriolis, mostly of the icons, every Monday, so 8:30. And we are beginning to do some stuff on Twitch as well. But Matt's the expert on all of that. But that's where you can find us. And thanks very much, David, for inviting me on. It was a great show and it was a great game. And I would love to finish off the other half.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. So, and rounding up for me, I am David. I'm part of the Dark Days radio crew, a Dark Hammer series that we do, where we talk about all things World of Warhammer. You can find us at Darker Days Radio or all your social media things. Facebook and things. I don't know. We do have a YouTube. Not much goes up on it. This is our Twitch. We're getting better at doing things on Twitch. But most of our games that we do stream, you can find over at our friends at Gehenna Gaming. We do a live stream every other Sunday. So not tomorrow, but next week we'll be doing a live stream where I'm running the Enemy Within campaign for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Please do come over and check that out. But yeah, it's been really good fun. This has been absolutely a laugh a minute game. I've really, really enjoyed this. So thank you everybody for joining me. And we will sign off now. Goodbye everyone.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Thanks.